Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Thank you. Thank you. Are we waiting for people to come in? Or should we begin? Mahin? Yeah. Okay, they're going to put a lot of things on me, so we have 5 minutes. Assalamu alaikum. Gee, so before we begin proceedings officially, Mahin, give me a timer. 5 minutes? 2 minutes? Okay. Anyone knows anyone who's still on the way, or should we just crack on? Uh-huh. How are we doing? This is England, huh? I was told that Birmingham is a very tough crowd. Why? Why is everyone in England afraid of you guys? No, seriously. Have you had your tea with crumpets? No, I've had a really tough time in England in terms of understanding the way you guys communicate. Every street you cross, there's a new accent. So yesterday in Bradford, they were pretty throwing cautions to me. You're going to Birmingham? Good luck, man. So why? What's the deal with Birmingham? So what? See, I couldn't get a word. What did you say? It's a third world country. Birmingham is Pakistan. Yes, sir. Oh, look at who's here. Oh, mashallah. Birmingham Sharif. Okay. Listen. No, I thought Bradford is like the Desi capital of the world. Oh, so I've been fed wrong information. Hmm. No, but the thing about Bradford is that they live in Pakistan. They don't really respect the traffic signs and anything. They can park anywhere. Yeah. Okay, that's one. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, because I'm not your regular Muslim speaker, so you're sitting on a lot of questions. So let's just start out with those questions before I actually open the content. It's a technical program, so technical that some of you guys are gonna walk out. Not in the middle, but during the later part. So it's all right. If you see somebody just walking out like, "Pata nahi kya bol raha hai?" So it's all right to stay. I'm gonna recap everything and connect the dots later on. Okay. And if you don't get anything, the way I speak or whatever I say, please ask. Okay. This is my first time in England. Like, I've been around the world except England. Imagine that. And there's a reason why I'm in England. I'm going to tell you when I'm going to open up the whole slide deck. So yeah, anything that you are sitting on, any questions? Yes, sir. Is there another microphone that people can actually, because one question is going to lead to another, and then the whole.
So you keep talking about the fact that Islam is not for a human being with low self-esteem. Now there's plenty of techniques that you can apply in your life to raise your self-esteem, right? Like saying no to things or dressing up the way you dress up to feel more like yourself. But everything doesn't necessarily correlate in line with Islam. So yeah, okay. So how do you do some, like, I need your advice on some things that we can do in line with Islam that raise our self-esteem to that level, that we can actually feel like, okay, we are up for this thing that we are on, or to take up on this journey.
I think this is the best question of the year. If more people had asked me this question, things would have been a little better. I'm going to trip on this a lot, man. Just come here. So self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Did everybody got the question, eh? What is self-esteem? I think the bigger problem with Muslims right now is that we have a shattered self-esteem. So when I come to England, I come with an expectation, and that word is the central part of my expectation. Self-esteem. Self-esteem is created through simple but very strong means that you gotta structure yourself. Nobody's gonna structure it for you. That's why it's called self-esteem. Okay? And after the 11th year of your life, you are going to demand a certain identity from your folks. And if they're not going to build that identity in the first 11 years, you're not going to have a self-esteem unless, of course, you build it yourself through, borrowed concepts. I'm going to explain to you. Don't worry, that's a central part of my session today. And if you can get that part of the session, I think it's job done. Then you're going to take the next few steps pretty easily. I'm going to tell you a few concepts which are going to be very, they're going to be very easy to understand, but very tough to accept. Okay, it's going to take a lot more than just common sense. It's going to take a lot more self-esteem. Okay? In other words, a Muslim identity. And once you're going to get that concept straight, you're going to have, literally, you're going to have to change your, the way you look at the globe, your life, your next 10, 20 years, especially your kids. And if you cannot look at your kids differently after this session, I'm sorry. We all didn't really come together for a big enough purpose. Okay? Because I'm here for your kids. I need your kids. I'm going to say this a lot. I need your kids. And the fact that you're having more babies than any other race in England, that gives me hope. Okay? That really gives me hope. Women. Muslim women are getting famous for having more babies. Awesome. But do not have purpose of having more kids. Have more kids with a purpose. That's the only difference, and I'm here to actually flip the whole picture. So, what's your name, sir? Taha. I'm going to be talking about this a lot. Okay, I'm going to take a lot more than just a slide to answer this question, because I'm going to have to reconstruct this. Because it's not every day that a practicing psychologist comes into Muslim reforms and public speaking. So you're going to have a lot of fun if you're into that sort of thing. But you know what? Even if you're not having fun, you're going to have a lot of realization, inshallah. Inshallah. Okay? From the girls, yes, ma'am. How old are you? 10? Oh, you're 10. Okay. What's your name?
Amra.
Amra. How do you spell that?
Amrah.
Okay. You have to think about this. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's only been 10 years with that name, so yeah, I understand.
My question is that if we as Muslims we अगर हम एक दूसरे के गर्दन पे पाँव रख के and we fight for our own selves, like as Muslims we fight with Muslims, then who will fight with the people who don't who we are fighting against, like the Zionists? And if we own something, that then why are we scared of the people that aren't actually the people that we are?
My God. No, seriously. MashaAllah. You're 10. That's your own question. गर्दन पे पाँव रखने किसने सिखाया आपको? Who's teaching you this गर्दन पे पाँव रखना? You know what that means, eh? Yeah, what does that mean? उर्दू में बताओ.
किसी को तकलीफ देना, like harm to harm.
Listen, Amra. I'm going to talk to you a lot today, okay? Actually, I'm going to use you as my anchor. Okay, because if you can get what I'm saying, because that's why I came here. गर्दनों से पैर उठाना है मुसलमानों की. Okay? But it's more than that. Actually, we're doing a lot more than just गर्दन पे पाँव रखना. Okay? But there's a reason why people do that, and you should understand that, so that कल मेरी गर्दन पे आपका पैर ना हो. No, you should understand that. Whoever's doing that is justifying his foot on somebody else's throat. He's justifying it. Okay? And if you ask him, why are you doing that, man? He'll be like, oh, I've got a list. You want me to start alphabetically or chronologically? Okay? Yeah, so I need girls like you to make sure why it's wrong, not just that it's wrong. Okay? MashaAllah. Yes. But I'm gonna answer this question during this. Because this is why I came here. कि गर्दन से पैर हटाओ भाई. Okay, मुसलमानों के पैर क्यों आए मेरे ऊपर? I mean, it's okay कि Zionist पैर मेरे ऊपर आए. It's an element of pride. Because if I'm not doing something right, they're not going to get, or whatever evil there is, it's not going to get angry. We are supposed to piss off the shaitan. Okay, if you're not doing that, you're not a Muslim. Anyone who's going to come into Islam has to pay. I mean, Islam is the toughest philosophy to follow. What do you think most people don't follow it? It is the toughest. It requires actual money, literally money. Okay? Abu Darda said, when Prophet said this, when I'm going to say this, Prophet said this, and Abu Darda says, oh, Rasulullah, Allah is asking for money. Like literally, Allah is asking for money. And the Prophet said, yeah, Allah is asking for money. Okay? So you guys are going to go through a lot of what I'm going to talk about, okay? But I need your kids. Have babies, okay? With true identity of Islam. And I need you guys to stay in England, come into power, come into politics, make money, become the best English, citizen, but with the right mindset. Even England needs that. Because if you're not gaining competence and power, then you're hurting everybody who's dependent on you. Okay? I went to Australia before I came here, and I went to just about everywhere in Australia. And those guys were just you guys, first wave of migration. And they were going through a lot of problems. And not just in Australia, they were going through a lot of problems in Pakistan. That's why they went to Australia, right? And they're going to go through bigger problems in Australia. It's called a retreat. Most of the immigration goes through that sort of a dissonance. Or aapki biwiyan, or aapke bacche, or sometimes your husbands are like crying, now let's go back. Okay? And then you will have a lot of problems. What did I do? Kya ho gaya hamare saath? And then, the new wave of so much is going to go on, like LGBT in school, and so on, so many other things. That's going to make you rethink. Well, okay, that's the price. That's the price you better be willing to pay. That's what I'm saying. If you're not here consciously with the purpose, then you are going to go through more problems, and you're going to become a lot more problems for everyone else who's dependent on you. And you know who's dependent on you, by the way? You English Muslims. Rest of the planetary Muslims are dependent on you. Because most of you guys do not realize how important it is for being a Muslim in England. All the Pakistanis are dependent on your performance. So we need you to perform really well. Like better than any other Muslim in America or Canada. Okay, close to America. Okay. Whatever platform that you step on, the responsibility is inherited through that platform to the guy who's stepping on that platform. For example, I'm holding the microphone. Now, you all know that I'm supposed to be very responsible, saying everything very clearly and properly and correctly and accurately. You need me to do that. It goes without saying. Just like that. This is nothing compared to the English pedestal you're sitting on. Whatever you do, as soon as a woman, now Amra is 10. Amra, where's Amra? Where she left? Okay, who's Amra's mother? Your mother. You're her mother. What's your name? Farhana. Always tell me your full name. Women should also tell their full names, okay? That's part of it. Okay. So Amra is 10 now. As soon as my daughter is going to be 10, my wife will not remain her mother anymore. That's Islam. That's the basis of Islam. As soon as she's going to turn into 11th year, 12th year, her identity has to come on her own. My daughter, my son. But since I'm only going to be Mrs. Somebody, that's my identity, I will have to push my motherhood on her even if she's 40. That's why we see ammis practicing their ammihood on 30-year-old women and men. That child is not supposed to be your child. That's not a child of anybody. That's a functioning, able adult. He's supposed to be performing in a sociological and moral, most of all, psychologically, as an adult. But since my ammi is suffering from that Mrs. syndrome, she's going to push her ammihood, and I'm going to remain a little baby. That's why you see mama's voice there. You were supposed to be as independently thinking Fatima bint Muhammad, not Mrs. Ali bin Abi Talib. But you were always Mrs. somebody. That's why you couldn't perform as a person. And your performance was supposed to be on the child. You're supposed to bring her up or bring him up. रगड़ा नहीं उस बच्चे को 12वें 13वें साल में तो he should, by the way, give him back to the father. 8वें 9वें साल के बाद तो अल्लाह ने कहा कि बच्चे बाप की मिल्कियत हैं अब. आप कोर्ट में जाके देख लें. Go to any court in Islam or England. Who's going to get the custody after the 10th year? The father. The Islamic court is telling you how Islam looks at parenthood. You bring up the child in the 11th year and that's it. That's the father's job now. And he better, put him in the deeper part of the pool. Make him swim real well. But we push the kids back to our wives. And they're going to remain their mommies all their lives. And we're going to be mommy dependent. A real performing Muslim or anybody, non-Muslim, cannot be mommy dependent. We better come out of those little nests and start flapping our wings by the 12th, 13th, 14th year.
Yes, the mommy is also dependent on somebody else. Mommy is also not independent.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying. First change the definition. Okay, that's why Fatima bint Muhammad is the epitome of identity of a woman. You need to understand, there's a big debate in scholarship. By the way, in Sunni scholarship, as to who was on higher ranks, Ali bin Abi Talib or Fatima bint Muhammad. Have you never asked this question? Because they were performing individually. Why did you ever not ask this question to your own self? The biggest torch in Islam is Ali bin Abi Talib. The torch of knowledge and courage, both of these things combined in one man. The Prophet said, "Oh Ali, you are my brother here and in the hereafter. Why are you worried?" That's the rank no Sahabi got. He got it. And still, whenever scholarship writes, they say Fatima bint Muhammad is higher in ranks because of her performance. Imagine that. My Muslim woman is not performing as a Muslimah. Having babies is a gift of Allah. A lot of women would want, and they're not going to have babies because of whatever is going to happen medically or whatever. What are they going to do? They're still going to remain a performing Muslimah. Having babies is part of Allah's decree that you're going to have this sort of a mission. Get them into performance zones. Make sure they're not part of the mass. That's job one. They're thinkers. They're kids who are going to be searching and urging and yearning and earning for knowledge. That's how you come out of the mass. You go into the strugglers and then make them competent. That's our job, to make them competent in whatever field that we put them in. Higher standards of, understanding that knowledge set, be it science or be it, theology, be it, trade and craftsmanship or commerce. They better be the most competent people. That's the father's job. Once he goes into those competence zones, and that's something she cannot do anything about. We are the ones who are outside facing the winds. We need to get our sons with us, teach them. That's our core job. Schools are not going to give them that. I'm sorry. I don't. So once this cycle, and it's such an easy thing to do, less burden on the woman. You're carrying the burden Allah never gave you. And you're crying over, oh my God, Allah ने क्या जुल्म कर दिया मेरे ऊपर. और आयतें पढ़ती हैं, अल्लाह किसी को उसकी वुसअत से ज़्यादा बोझ नहीं डालता. अल्लाह नहीं डालता, यह आपने खुद डाला हुआ है. इसलिए बहुत बर्दाश्त भी नहीं हो रहा आपसे. इस्लाम इज़ वेरी सिंपल. जो अल्लाह के उसूलों के ऊपर बोझ हैं, वो आपकी कैपेबिलिटी में पहले से है. जो बोझ आपने डाले हुए हैं, वो आपकी कैपेबिलिटी में नहीं हैं. That's why you're gonna crack. And that's why you can't handle it. And hence, all the Muslim, especially Pakistani Indian kids, are confused babies running around, ricocheting from one wall to the other. Where's the path to follow? They're carrying burdens which Allah never even told us to carry. वो आयत नहीं पूरी उतरती फिर हमारे ऊपर. वो अल्लाह का बोझ नहीं है, वो हमारा पाकिस्तानी इंडियन बोझ है. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. आता हूँ. मुझे ना असल में I need to start this. Okay. Come here.
It's very easy to manipulate people on the basis.
No, use this microphone. Salam. बैठे.
मुझे पता है पर गले में ना बैठ कर तो गले नहीं.
बैठे.
Thank
Yeah.
you. मैं इस तरह आसान नहीं हूँ.
तो लोगों को आवाज नहीं आएगी ना?
आप तो आ जाएगी.
Okay.
It's very easy to manipulate people's minds on the basis of their belief, which is the religion.
Yeah.
So I've been in the companies and studying a lot of religious scholars from the different sects of Islam, and everybody seems have logical evidences and reasons from Hadith and from Quran. So why should I believe you, though I believe one more?
True. So if you do not understand the framework of how things work, any one hadith or any one ayah could be used as a tool for manipulation. Yeah, so you need to understand the frameworks. Just read. See, you're at step one, which is the best step. The biggest step is step one. That first of all, I understand that I do not understand the bigger problem. I need to understand the bigger problem, how systems work. Okay, and that's a good question. That's the only real question Muslims should have. How do systems work? Okay, what kind of influences do I have on me which are making me do whatever I do in every single day's life? Okay, this is what you use the word, the beliefs. Okay, look at this. Whatever data I'm going to give you, or whoever gives you on YouTube or whatever, or a book that you read, that comes into your brain, your sensors get, to formulate that data, and then you start inferring the meaning of that data. Based on what? Based on your own memories, your deeper needs, your metadata, your books that you read, people that you've spoken to, your parents, and your whatever, early life. Whatever things that you created as a formula to make use of any data, you start inferring that meaning based out of this. And then you make that intent from that meaning. Okay? And then intent turns into action. But, आपका नाम क्या है? Umar sir. Our biases, whatever biases that we have based on our own childhood, family, culture, group or cult or whatever, that biases actually either negate or reinforce that data. So I'm going to use a lot of those biases that are sitting inside your brains already. I know where I'm going to be, tiptoeing around those biases ताकि आपको पता भी ना चले और आपकी biases इस्तेमाल. I'm going to be using those. Okay? I'm trained to manipulate. Okay? But you're not little kids. You're going to be doing a lot of challenging of your own. कि ठीक है मैं, he's making sense, but he's countering a lot of my deeper belief systems. You understand me? So I preemptively talk about those belief systems ताकि आपका वो challenge जो है ना वो friction में ना आ जाए. So from sensing to making intent to converting into action, because if you're not performing, which is the action, there's no point of coming together. Every single Friday you go to Friday sermons, nothing is changing. Nothing is, if anything, it's going towards, worse the situation. The more religious we become, the worse our situations are becoming. Something else is going wrong. That's what I'm here to fix. Okay? So, amal ka daromadar kis pe hai? Okay. Hadith hai. Innamal amalu bin niyat. Or niyat ka daromadar kis pe hai? Really? अमाल का दारोमदार नीयत पे है. नीयत का दारोमदार किस पे? नीयत का दारोमदार आपकी सोच पे है. ओके? और सोच का दारोमदार किस पे है? बॉयज, नो, अमाल का दारोमदार नीयत पे है, नीयत का दारोमदार सोच पे है, सोच का दारोमदार माहौल पे है. ओके? और माहौल का दारोमदार पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम पे है. अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम नाउ? जिस सिस्टम में आप होंगे उस तरह का माहौल क्रिएट हो जाएगा नीचे, और जिस माहौल में होंगे उस तरह के बच्चे सोचना शुरू कर देंगे. जिस तरह के सोच होंगे उस तरह की नीयत बनेगी, जिस तरह की नीयत बनेगी उस तरह का एक्शन होगा. सी हाउ आई एम यूजिंग उर्दू फॉर दिस, ताकि कोई कसर न रह जाए. That's how simple change is. The problem is people with the systems, controlling the system, they know this. और हम यहां पे अपनी नीयत का अचार डाल के बैठे हुए. हमारी नीयत हमारे कंट्रोल में तब तक नहीं है जब तक सिस्टम हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है. सो अच्छे नीयत वाले मुसलमानों ने कुछ नहीं करना सिवाय और कैंसर बन जाएंगे हम. और हम अम्मियाँ कहती है ना, बच्चे माहौल बड़ा खराब है इंग्लैंड का, बर्मिंघम का माहौल बड़ा खराब, चलो आओ गुजरात चलें वापस. ये माहौल, you need to understand where the mahal is. You need to set up the right human being to change that mahal, and now one boy is not going to be able to do it. Okay? The prophets alayhi salam use their companions as machines, as part of the machines. अकेले नहीं होने वाला ये काम. That's why we all need to come together. So उमर के बच्चों के नाम पूरे बर्मिंघम के मुसलमानों को पता होना चाहिए, and they would better be helping his kids, and you should know kids of, whoever is sitting here, so that we can come in as a community. If you're not using that information for the right purpose, with the right resources, with the right intent, तो फिर आप और मैं एक दूसरे की गर्दन पे पैर रख रहे हैं. That's why I say convert masjid into a parliament house. If your masjid is not acting as a political center, this is not going to be able to do. इस तरह की conferences और seminars तो नहीं रोज होने ना. जुम्मा तो रोज हर जुम्मे को होता है. मस्जिद तो हर जगह पे. What are we doing in England? We're opening masjids all over the place. That's the wrong way of looking at the masjid. And we're actually feeling so good. We contributed towards the biggest masjid in Birmingham, man. Instead, use one masjid in one city. Close everybody else so that everybody can come in together and get to see each other and get to see each other's kids. We need that data. कि साहिल के कितने बच्चे हैं, बर्मिंघम में किस स्ट्रीट में रहता है, वो कहां पे पढ़ रहे हैं, क्या काम है उसको, हमसे क्या काम है. That's the purpose of a masjid. Opening a masjid कि मुझे जन्नत में अल्लाह का घर बन गया, मेरे जन्नत में मेरा घर बन जाएगा. That's not how. जन्नत तक पहुंच ही नहीं सकेंगे हमारे बच्चे. दूर से घर देख रहे होंगे दोज़ख में चलते हुए और कह रहे होंगे मेरा डोमिसाइल जन्नत का है, मेरा डोमिसाइल जन्नत का है, ये देखो घर. और फरिश्ते पता है क्या बोल रहे होंगे, तो काम करना था ना. उधर भी इमिग्रेंट हो, इंग्लैंड में भी इमिग्रेंट थे, इधर भी इमिग्रेंट हो, जन्नती दोज़ख में फंसा हुआ है. Like literally, you think, don't you see the sense in all of this? The concept of masjid was so that everybody can get data of everybody else, so I can help your kids, you can help mine, to grow into performance. So if one masjid does not fulfill the need, which means फजर की सफ, फजर की तमाम तर फजर की नमाज में पूरी मस्जिद नहीं भर रही, अगली मस्जिद नहीं खोलनी आपने. It is that simple. But we are not working as a community. And there is a reason for it. There is a reason why we are thinking like this. I'll show you how. अभी तक जो मैंने बातें की हैं, that make common sense. I'm not saying anything, oh, masjid jana haram. No, I'm telling you, if your masjid was servicing you and your kids, you would be sending your kids to masjid for other than prayers as well. That's why Sahabas were always in the masjid. All the decision making was done from Masjid al-Nabawi. By the way, all the political decision making, the social decision making was naturally done from the Masjid Nabawi. Why did the Sahabas not, open different Madine ke alag alag jagahon mein masjidein khol rahe? No. They knew the purpose of the masjid. Distribute नहीं करना मुसलमानों को, इकट्ठा करना है मस्जिद ने. पाकिस्तान में पता है एक गली में 3-3 मस्जिदें हो गई अब. और पता है हर बंदा बता रहा है मुझे, आई हैव फैमिली इन डेनमार्क एंड ये काट देना भाई, ठीक है. एवरी पाकिस्तानी इज फाइटिंग किसने कितनी मस्जिदें बनाई हैं. देखिए एक सफ भर नहीं रही है फजर की, मस्जिदें क्यों बना रहे हो? बाकी की मस्जिदें बंद करना शुड बी योर प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्टिव, कि सबको इकट्ठा तो करो पहले. मस्जिद का फंक्शन ही नहीं पूरा हो रहा. मैं डेनमार्क क्यों बता रहा हूं? द फर्स्ट मस्जिद विद अ minaret. And I'm like, oh my God, really? First time I'm in Copenhagen, and I'm there like, oh, you opened the first masjid with minar. I went for the celebration as well. And found out later कि वो मीनार बस architectural symbol है, अजान नहीं दे सकते. They didn't know कि मीनार का मकसद क्या है. You know that the tower is so that the sound of the azan can go farther. That's why it's a tower. But the azan is banned in Denmark. So without understanding the functions or basics, with jumping into those little values and tiny little goals which have nothing to do with the actual belief of the Sahabi. Sahabas wouldn't be just laughing at us, they'd be really pissed off at us. Why are you making a mockery of Islam? Because kids will be confused into this new definition of Islam. इसलिए फिर एक जनरेशन के बाद वो सरकारें आती हैं और हम पकड़ के बरकतें ले रहे होते. Started somewhere else. So, what is the problem? This is the problem. Identity. And that's the word you used. I didn't. It starts with self-esteem. What is self-esteem? Self-esteem की immigration से बेहतर कोई नहीं बता सकता self-esteem क्या होता है. The immigration मतलब the people who move from one place to the other to come up with whatever resource. Why did you guys come to England? For education. What else? Money. What else? Freedom. Yes, 3 things. Everybody knows about this. Freedom of thinking, practice, expression, whatever. Okay. But mostly resource. Okay. Then education. And then, of course, freedom. Because England wouldn't have been your choice of choices if all of these 3 things didn't combine into one place. It's common sense. You could have gone to Mauritania or Tunisia or Libya or Japan, but you chose England. Why? Think. Think. Taha, think. No, it was not easy. No. It was easy to go to many other places. A lot of people in Pakistan, India are dying to come to England, can't. So, here you go. This is what pulled you, Taha. Then this, and then this. Let me read it for people who cannot read this. Your deeper need, which of course this is, I've just shrunk this here, into understanding whenever you heard the word England or when you understood how systems work in Pakistan, India, or whatever was going on there, the political or social or whatever personal situation, you sense that, you know what, I am going to put my self-esteem or satisfy it if I can get these. It's common sense. Everybody does that. It doesn't take a Muslim or a non-Muslim. It's just human behavior. Okay? The political worth of a place, it has to be stable and in power. The financial opportunity inside that place. कितने का pound हो गया अब? Yeah, so that's, anybody can do the math on how to translate that into financial resource. And then the intellectual worth. What is the intellectual worth of a Muslim Pakistani Indian here versus a Muslim Pakistani in India or Pakistan? What's the difference? More over here. How? meditated, or more resources for education. Give me an example.
Like you have better education, like you can college schools or any other. Whatever you want to learn, you have access of those things. More opportunities.
Yeah, for example, Cambridge. Yeah, for example, Oxford. Yeah, that is your intellectual worth here. You come from any university in Pakistan, even if you got the top grades, you come to England, you know how they're going to treat you. We all know that. Okay, what else? There's more to it than just education. What is intellectual worth? Yes. Exposure. You're at a place where they invented English. All the world speaks English because of the English. Everybody learns sciences through the English. The father of physics, Sir Isaac Newton, was not too far from here in Cambridge. Faraday, here. Shakespeare, well, okay, more of a cultural than intellectual thing. Okay. Yeah, it's not, okay, linguistics means a lot more cultural enrichment. But you cannot compare Shakespeare with Newton, eh? Newton actually changed the world in a lot of ways where human progress is going to be determined by it. Okay? So, we all understand that. You cannot put those sort of pillars inside Pakistan and say, wahan pe wo hai. Okay? You need to understand, over in India, you're not performing well there. Not because we don't have teachers there, we do not have the standards there, which is the word merit. Standards ही हमारे गलत. So, okay, I get it. It's okay. Whoever had it, we are here now. The problem here is that this is a gyroscope with any regular psychologist is going to be like, what, Sahil, did you actually write that in this order? And I'll be like, yeah, that is what's going on in Muslims, man. Otherwise, any normal psychologist will be like, reverse the order. Your self-esteem should be intellectual first, financial second, political third. But we are here because of political stability first, financial resource second, and then intellectual growth. That's why most of the Pakistanis did not make it to the mainstream universities or colleges. They ended up into odd jobs, getting those resources together, getting the survival matrix in. And that's financial growth. This is the classic hierarchy of dominance. Even though यहाँ पे आके बेशक आप जो मर्जी hand to mouth भी रह रहे होते, मगर बच्चे Cambridge या Oxford जा रहे होते. That should have been the regular model. By the way, 100 years ago, that was the immigration, reason or rationale. Not too long, 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago. But now, we're calling the shots based on money, money, money. And that's why most of the Muslims are not going to perform in the next 30 years, which is Amira, or whoever is a child here. What's your name, bacha? Zainab, okay? Or Rahil. Why? Because we are looking at the whole diagram in the reverse order. Now, I'll give you an example of how Americans or Canadians or some English Muslims are going to Arabian Peninsula to learn Arabic and tafsir and whatever. They're not going to be like, oh, I don't care about whether I have to drive a cab or whatever, man. But my child needs to learn Arabic and the Quran. You see, that's how immigration works. That's how self-esteem is established. But we're, instead of using England, we're using our broken self-esteem. Because the regular English is going to do whatever it's doing to establish whatever England is representing, right? Which is Cambridge and knowledge and Nobel Prize and, Fields medals and so on and so forth. They're performing based on whatever philosophy they are, but they're performing on the right definition of self-esteem. That's why you and I are looking, and you know how it happens? It's such a simple concept. जो पहला गोरा आपके ज़हन में आया था ना इमिग्रेशन के बाद, अभी तक आप वही बनना चाह रहे हैं. That's normal and natural. मेरा सवाल है, पहला गोरा किंग चार्ल्स क्यों नहीं आया आपके ज़हन में? Why couldn't you start from the top? You know वो पहला गोरा कौन से आया था आपके बच्चों के ज़हन में? YouTube से जो आया था. And he was a Ferrari owner or a Lamborghini owner or a guy with a lot of girls or buy with a big house or whatever. When we were all young, and all of a sudden when we came to England, we were like, I want to be that guy. Once I got that guy, I've conquered England. No, you haven't conquered England. It's just because you got money or cars or wives or whatever. You can only conquer England if you are King Charles. He's the only guy who's conquered England. Good job, King Charles. God save the king. No, that's how change is done. But you're like looking at बस ये मिल जाए, बस वो मिल जाए, बस इतना सा मिल जाए, ये ना बेशक खैर. And now I'll give you a little symptom. Birmingham में जितनी भी शादियां होती हैं, सबसे पहले क्या चेक होता है? Job. लड़का करता क्या है? What? Really? लड़का कौन है? क्या वर्थ है? ना यहाँ पे कौन है? क्या वर्थ है? We're still suffering from that little, poor man's disease. Now you understand a poor man from India, Pakistan versus a poor Sahabi. I'm talking about money. No, zameen asman ka fark hai. They didn't even care. They were oblivious to the fact. Unki self-esteem sahi established ki. That's what Makkah was going through. Nabi Islam was establishing the self-esteem of the regular Arab. Ke pehle sochna seekh. उसके बाद they didn't care about कि अबू सुफियान के पास कितने पैसे हैं या अबू जहल कितना पावरफुल है political. They didn't care. And people started getting attracted to that sahabi instead of getting repulsed. Because organically self-esteem ऐसी होती है कि intellectually high first, politically high later. Doesn't matter whether you're financially yes or no. This is how simple math is done. Once you understand this, now you're going to understand the rest of the big mumbo jumbo rocket science that I'm not going to open in front of you. So let's just go. Can you work on these slides for me, please? इसमें इसकी format error है. Can you delete this picture on the top? This is how, अभी exact time बताएं, मुझे break up देनी है. Okay? Because after I open this, let me just go through this slide. This is the most important slide. Then we're going to go into splitting this whole room into 2 or 3, 4 kind of people. And then you'll not need to classify and you're going to look not to judge people, but to judge yourself. Okay? Muslims don't judge other people. Muslim literally every day judges himself. It's called tazkiyah. We need to judge ourselves. So just delete the front picture. Okay. Yeah. Okay. After this. Understand, after you come from the break, because if I show you this after the break, you're not going to come back from the break. Okay? So, this is the history of the human beings for the last 300,000 years, from ever since Ibrahim alayhi salam. Since Ibrahim alayhi salam, he's the father of all prophets. Okay? What he did for the planet, now you'll be able to see kitni badi worth hai Ibrahim alayhi salam ki. Why was he the 7th heaven ke upar Nabi salam ko Ibrahim alayhi salam se kyun mulaqat hui thi? This is the man. This is the man, alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam is the guy who set forth most of the human beings in the planet to put the laws, the legislations on the planet based on a divine literature. Abhi bhi Christians ho, Jews ho, Muslims ho, all of them put whatever the kind of law that they have. The Bible called the shots, still calls some shots, but most of the years of the human history after Ibrahim alayhi salam, Bible called the shots on most of the planet in terms of political systems, laws and legislations. Don't forget this word, law, because I'm going to use this word. And then you'll be understanding, jitni badi main abhi speed pakadne laga hu, usme ye lafz apne saath leke chalna hai. The law. Okay? This is the law. So, since everybody was under the Quran, the Bible or the Torah before that, and then the Bible, and then the Quran, everybody was using the word Ibrahim alayhi salam, and everyone knew that laws idhar se hi banne hain. Muslims took it from there. Christians took it from here. The Jews took it from here. We all were using the same sort of godly intervention in every single thing कि अल्लाह ने कह दिया तो बस यही मानना, चाहे वो यहूदी हो, क्रिश्चियन हो या मुसलमान. Yeah. So all of a sudden the legal system was godly. So the biggest possible threat to that legal system, the biggest sin that you could possibly perform was shirk. At that time, shirk was the, and अभी भी आपसे पूछूं, इस्लाम में सबसे बड़ा गुनाह क्या है? Yeah, because ये वाला चीजें तो आप इंटैक्ट कर चुके हुए हैं, पहले से ही है. अब इसके अंदर रह के सबसे बड़ा गुनाह ये है. उर्दू में बता रहा हूं, एक दफा पॉलिटिकल लॉज अल्लाह के हों तब सबसे बड़ा गुनाह शिर्क है, क्योंकि बड़ा सिस्टम आपने एस्टेब्लिश रखा हुआ है, मोर और लेस लॉज अल्लाह के रखे हुए हैं, और उसके अंदर अब कुछ भी करोगे मगर शिर्क ना कर लेना, because that leads you out of Allah Azza wa Jal's, sphere. But something happened. Something happened in the 1600s, actually 1500s. This started happening. The Bible was overplaying its card on the law, literally on the law. And people were not getting those, interpretations. Ijtihad bolte na. Ijtihad ka sawal aapne kiya. People were not getting the ijtihad from the Bible inside Europe. And all of a sudden started the big reaction, and the European movement went against the Bible. And for 30 years, 30 saal, एक दूसरे को कत्ल किया. Millions of people were butchered. The Great War कहते हैं. Make sure you understand. You started from this part of the world. Millions of people were killed by regular folks here, based on philosophers, influenced by books written by human beings, and they massacred the church. कि इसका law नहीं बर्दाश्त करेंगे. So they threw away the Bible, and now you don't see the Bible calling the shots in England, because it started in the late 1600s. It's called the Age of Enlightenment. The Great War, we call it. I mean, we all know the Holocaust. We all know World War I, World War II. But we never get told about the Great War. The biggest ever massacre happened quite recently, 1600s. And then the law was changed. So the Christian world does not take the laws from the Bible anymore. They use the word humanism, natural rights, innate dispositions, these kind of words, ethics. They use these words now. That happened, maybe before that, they used to use the word John, Matthew, Luke. That's how laws were interpreted before. Now, they don't. So, मुसलमानों के साथ ये मसला नहीं चल रहा था अभी. मुसलमान अभी भी अल्लाह अल्लाह ही कर रहे थे. Quran was calling the shots. All of a sudden, this happened. Muslims were with Germans. Okay, English were with the Americans. And the Germans lost the war. And then, something else happened. A guy not too far from here went to his backyard, started drawing lines on the map, and we became, Bahrain and Kuwait and, Yemen, Syria, Iraq. Before that, we were all under the law under the law of the Quran. Now we're not. But since we were the defeated, the victor calls the shots on the defeated. That's why all of India, Pakistan, and all of Arabian countries, they are under the influence of the people who took over as victors. Simple. It's done with whoever wins the war, man. If we had won the war, things would have been totally different. But we didn't. Now, whoever is going to be in the Western lands who won the Second World War will feel as if they are in the superior lands. And whoever is not is going to feel as if he's in the inferior land. This explains this political worth. You go to any place which were in the Second World War allies, you will feel as if बड़ी जगह पे आ गया हूं मैं. You go to any place जो कि Second World War में हारे हुए बंदों के साथ थे, उनको वीजा नहीं मिलता उन जगहों का जो कि जीते हुए बंदों के साथ थे. Have you not noticed? People who can travel the world without any visa or whatever are the people who won the Second World War. That's how dominance is done. That's the spoils of war. और क्या मसला है? So, इसलिए सेल्फ एस्टीम शैटर होती है किसकी? जो कि उन इलाकों में रहते हैं जो कि जंगे हारे हुए होते हैं. That's common sense. इसको इस्लाम ने पहले से डिक्लेयर किया हुआ है. इसको फाते और मफ्तू की डिफरेंट साइकोलॉजी और लेजिस्लेशन में लिखा हुआ है. मफ्तू इस्लाम के लॉज फर्क होते हैं और फाते इस्लाम के लॉज फर्क होते हैं. सिंपल सी एग्जांपल आपको बता दूं. A Muslim man cannot marry a Christian or a Jew woman unless Muslims are dominating the world. If you are under these situations, that legislation does not apply on the Muslim man. We are taking from अपनी मर्जी की legislations from whenever we are victims और यहाँ पे इंग्लैंड आके अप्लाई कर रहे हैं और हर लड़की को बता रहे हैं, you know what? In our religion. Even though that's not even allowed. You can't even call yourself a Hanafi and do that because that's a fatwa of Abu Hanifa, by the way, I'm telling you. And Shafi'i. That how dare you? How you? Because common sense है. Look at the damage you're going to do to the kids. System बताता है बच्चे कैसे पालने हैं. अम्मी अब्बू नहीं बताते. Because सोच कहाँ से आती है? माहौल से. और माहौल कहाँ से आता है? पॉलिसी से. और पॉलिसी यहां पे इस्लामी नहीं है तो आप पॉलिसी गैर इस्लामी और नीचे बच्चे इस्लामी, सॉरी, ऐसे नहीं होगा. सो एट दिस टाइम everybody was under the dictation of the Quran or the Bible or whatever. So shirk became number one. But this time, after this, all of these events happened, we lost the legislation. So shirk is not the number one guna. I'm building your thought here. Understand, this is the first chapter of today's session. After the break, we're going to go into actions. We're going to give you a working strategy. This is how I'm building your thought. Understand, where are we right now? We are here. We are in the man-made legislation era. Now Imran Khan, Nawaz Sharif and all of those people call the shots and I get these complaints कि इमरान खान को नवाज शरीफ के साथ एक जुमले में ना यूज किया करें. I mean everybody, you know, even Muslim League वालों को भी इमरान खान पसंद है. Okay, we all like Imran Khan, don't worry. I'm talking about man versus God here. Doesn't matter क्या man कौन है बीच में. सबसे पहले तो उसकी कुर्बानी दें जो आपको सबसे ज्यादा पसंद है. That's Islam. That's the price you ask me. नवाज शरीफ को कुर्बान करना तो सबसे आसान है. उसको तो कुर्बान करने का सवाब भी नहीं होना. सवाब तो होना इमरान खान को और कुर्बान करने का. क्या ना करना. You know. But by the way, Nawaz Sharif is your local English, eh? You should at least have some sort of bond with him. He lives not far from here. So, man versus God. Now, since this is the age we're living in, because of these things that happened, this is how we're thinking. Now, shirk is not the problem. You know what the problem is? The problem is taghut. That word that you've never heard. You know why you didn't hear this word ever before? No, you know how I know that you never heard this word? Imagine the magic I know. कि आपको तागूत का पता ही नहीं था पहले और आपको मैजिक आपको गलत बताया गया था. हालांकि it's the most simple word in Quran. It's so simple and so self-explanatory that the Prophet ﷺ never used a single hadith to explain taghut. Not even a single. It is that simple. So what is taghut? No, girls, at the end. Farhat Hashmi students. No, Farhat Hashmi is big in England, that's what I'm saying. No, that's not taghut. Okay, किसने कभी भी नहीं सुना हुआ था? Kids, you don't know, have you never heard the word taghut before? Yeah. Imagine ना, कितना बड़ा ज़्यादती है ना हमारे साथ. They stripped us from this, the biggest possible, it's not just a sin. It is the ability to create sins. That's taghut. It is not just a sin. The ability to create sins in people who won't even know they're committing sin. That's taghut. अभी बताता हूँ उसका मतलब क्या है. That's the power of taghut. तागूत इतना बड़ा गुनाह है कि स्कॉलरशिप स्टिल एट बे के शिर्क अगर अल्लाह ने ऐसे ना बोल दिया होता तो हम तागूत के ऊपर किसी को आने ही ना देते. इतना बड़ा गुनाह है. Okay, so this is the age of taghut. Allah Azza wa Jal says there are two kinds of people in the world. That's it. One who are run by Allah, who are controlled by Allah Azza wa Jal, and one who are controlled by taghut. So that lady in the end when she said कि किसी के अल्लाह के अलावा किसी के लॉज को फॉलो करना तागूत है, नो, उल्टा करें, इसको उल्टा करें. सब्जेक्ट को ऑब्जेक्ट और ऑब्जेक्ट को सब्जेक्ट करें. इस जमले में अल्लाह के लॉज के अलावा मैं खुद किसी के ऊपर लॉज बनाना शुरू कर दूं, ये होता तागूत. That's the power that man has. Allah Azza wa Jalla says about the Bani Israel, says they started using their own pen in my book. This is taghut. You make a system, a legislation, a policy. जब तक word policy आएगा तागूत रहेगा. Processes is not taghut. That's tariqa. Policy, sorry, you cannot make. No human being can ever make a policy unless Allah has already made that policy for you. You can only follow it. You make a new policy, you're playing God. You're actually playing God. So the simplest meaning of taghut is when you play God, you're taghut. Now imagine shirk में तो अल्लाह को फिर मानता है वो बंदा और साथ एडिशन कर रहा होता है. इसमें तो वो कहता है मैं खुद अल्लाह हूं. Imagine किस लेवल के क्राइम है. This is why this is the age of taghut. You will not find a mushrik in this hall. आप शिरक नहीं करता मुसलमान इस तरीके से, और वो करता भी है तो जस्टिफाई करता नहीं, यहां से हाजिर नाजिर में शिरक इधर नहीं होता. You know, who's the Ahl Hadith here in this house? They think Barelvis are mushrik, eh? But ask the Barelvis, they will justify through the stipulations of Quran Hadith. So they're not committing shirk for the sake of committing shirk. They are saying, no, it's not shirk. So you do not find shirk as the number one, attraction in Islam, as from shaitan. You find taghut everywhere. So there's no mushrik in this hall, and every taghuti in this very hall. That's how bad and big the problem is. And you know what? शिर्क के ऊपर अल्लाह ताला ने नहीं कहा था कि फिर तुम बच के दिखाओ. अल्लाह ने कहा था कि आखिरत में देख लूंगा. तागूत पर अल्लाह ने पता है कहा है, फिर तुम दुनिया में मेरे से बच के दिखाओ. फिर मग़दूब अलैहिम होगे तुम. फिर गजब तुम्हें दुनिया में बताऊंगा जिसमें मैंने पिटाई करूंगा ना तुम्हारी. और हुई है. आप देखें बनी इसराइल की पिटाई कैसे हो रही है. कोई एक दौर नहीं गुजरा इनकी पिटाई ना हो. क्यों? अपने लॉज खुद बनाते फिरते थे. हमने अब जाके ये काम शुरू किया. एंड वी आर थिंकिंग हमारी दुआएं कबूल नहीं होती, हम पे आफतें आई रहती हैं, हम पे नवाज शरीफ और इमरान खान आते हैं या आर्मी आती है हमारे ऊपर. अब तो वो हाल हो गया पाकिस्तान में. आई एम होपिंग यू ऑल नो अबाउट दिस. यू कैन इवन क्रॉस द स्ट्रीट. दूर से भी कोई टैग लगा हुआ है पीटीआई का या व्हाटएवर, दे गोना किल यू नाउ. ये हाल पहले नहीं था कभी. दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम. एंड यू नो हु इज गोना सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम? Your kids, my kids. Not by going to Pakistan, by performing here. बताता हूं कैसे होगा. मुझे पता है इनकी नसें कहां पे काम करती हैं. I know how to change their behavior. They're going to bow to your kids, inshallah. But only if you're performing with a purpose, coming together as single unit. अकेले अकेले heroes नहीं चाहिए आपके बच्चे मुझे. We do not need superstars. We need teams. Single network. बताऊंगा कैसे होता है. एक एक स्टैट्स के साथ बताऊंगा. I'll give you numbers, real. Case study, real. पर working right now. पुरानी किताबों से नहीं, अभी जो चल रहा है. It works. It's working. But not for us, because we're not doing it. So I hope everyone understands. Allah says, Allahu waliyul ladhina amanu yukhrijuhum min adh-dhulumati ila an-nur wal ladhina kafaru awliya'uhum at-taghut yukhrijunahum min an-nuri ila az-zulumat. That when Allah, you're going to be putting Allah as your protector. जब सिस्टम अल्लाह के अंडर आ जाएगा तो अल्लाह ताला आपको अंधेरों से नूर की तरफ खुद लेके जाएगा. That's not your job anymore. Allah कर देगा वो. Allah is going to do it. People will be thinking, how are you doing it? We won't even know how we're doing it. We'll just have a system established. And things are going to be working for us every single angle, left, right, and center. Allah says left, right, and center. Tahtihim, from beneath, and fawqihim, from above. You will see things starting to happen for you. Which people won't even make sense. Allah कहते हैं गुमान में भी नहीं है जहां से दे रहा हूं मैं तुम्हें, नीचे से भी ऊपर से भी. That's what was going on with the Sahabis. That's what Prophet ﷺ did for the planet. And every prophet does that. Our Prophet ﷺ did it politically. And I'm going to show you through the seerah, and I'm going to show you through whatever the last 50 years पूरी की पूरी कौम ने ये पूरा का पूरा सिस्टम करके दिखा दिया हमारे सामने, हम नहीं कर रहे बस. So God made, ये वाला भी स्क्वायर डिलीट कर देंगे बीच से प्लीज. You picture is square front. Just put it on the back. Actually, it's supposed to be in the back. Bring it to back. So, God made, man made. That's it. Now, once you understand this, you're going to understand the classification of the Muslims. I'm going to tell you. This is Did you delete the slide? Okay, you got it. Man made, God made. How does this happen? Your kids are going to tell you how it's going to happen. Literally, English kids are going to tell English mommies and daddies. How does this happen? And they're going to be half right. और आप लोग रिपल्स हो जाएंगे अपने बच्चे से कि हो इंग्लैंड ने तबाह कर दिया मेरा बच्चा. He's going to be asking questions, he's going to be doing certain things जो कि इस्लाम में मस्ट है. इस्लाम में असल में मोहम्मदी इस्लाम में मस्ट हैं और हमारे वाले इस्लाम में वो गुनाह हैं. और इंग्लैंड वो दे रहा है और हमने वो वापस अपने क्या उसे कहते हैं सीजर्स को दी हुई है वापस. सो you will confuse the kids with the current definition of Islam, even though you'll think वो बहुत लिबरल हो गया. इस्लाम उससे ज्यादा लिबरल है जितना हमने बना दिया है और उससे कम लिबरल है जितना इंग्लैंड ने बनाया हुआ है. That's why you cannot swallow the current definition of Islam, and your kids will be like सही जगह पे आती हैं अम्मी और अब्बू आप और वहां जाके फिर ट्विस्ट हो जाते हैं. तो मुझे समझ नहीं आता बिकॉज why he thinks he's right. Because वो नेचुरल लॉ के साथ रेजोनेट करता है. इंग्लैंड हैज अ वेरी गुड लीगल सिस्टम. वो अगर नेचुरल लॉ के साथ रेजोनेट ना करता तो कोलैप्स हो चुका तब तक. ये तो अब अमेंडमेंट डालनी शुरू की हैं जो कोलैप्स की तरफ जा रहे हैं. अदरवाइज द नेचुरल लॉ इन न्यूजीलैंड, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, इंग्लैंड, अमेरिका, कनाडा, पाकिस्तान, इंडिया, जो भी लीगल सिस्टम है वो नेचुरल लॉ के साथ ही है. किसी के साथ ज्यादती हुई तो सजा दो, जस्टिस चाहिए, एम्पैथी होनी चाहिए, डू व्हाटएवर इज to others what you want others to do unto you. It's basis and stuff. But I'm going to show to you here how the current Muslim landscape looks like, और फिर आपके बच्चों की thought process यहाँ पे कैसे develop करनी है. How you're going to look and classify you as 3 Muslims sitting here. Who's the 4th Muslim and how? And then we're going to put in this strategy right here. This. We're going to end this. How to get this strategy working in England for you and your kids. And for that, how am I going to help you guys in Birmingham? While I'm not going to be in Birmingham, I'll be in Toronto or wherever. I'll connect every child, every human Muslim from wherever they are globally, connect together, so that we can actually get to see who's who. How am I going to connect with one resource to the other? It's very simple math. And even if some of us start to do that, you'll get all of these 4 pillars, and that's how change is done. But I need performers. I need those high IQ kids. I'll tell you how to raise the IQ of a child. ऐसे नहीं होगा, काम करना पड़ेगा उसके लिए. I'll tell you how to get your political acumen and political strategy straight. वो डेमोक्रेसी से नहीं होगा, वो ग्लोबल कनेक्शन से होगा. I'll tell you how to get yourself financially secure, and it can only be done through a network. वरना अकेले अकेले खेल के देख लें, कोई एक इलॉन मस्क बन जाएगा आप में से, बाकी नहीं बन सकेंगे, बाकी स्ट्रगलर्स ही रहेंगे. But if you're putting money as a purpose, I hope you get no money. But if you get purpose as Islam, I hope you get all the money. That's how change is done. That's why Sahabas were resourceful. एक एक चीज ऐसे ऐसे अमर बिन अलास कहते हैं हज़रत उमर से कि या अमीरुल मोमिनीन, एक बंदा ही नहीं बचा जिसको ज़कात चाहिए, मैं क्या करूं, सरप्लस क्रिएट होने शुरू हो गए हमारे. ताहतिहिम व फौकिहिम. This is how things happen for everybody. And मैं भी बता दूं आपको, most of you guys are brown people sitting here. Okay, unless you come together, you need the Pakistani or the Indian to perform. Because no matter what we do, if Pakistani boy or girl is going down, he's taking you down with him in England. So we are in a tightly knit, labyrinth together. You understand how it works. It's very simple. I'll tell you how it works. और आपके तो सिर्फ फायदे ही फायदे. सो विन विन. अगर आपने सेल्फिश होकर भी ये काम कर लिया ना, तो आपके बच्चे के ये चारों के चारों पिलर्स आपने फिर भी बढ़ाने हैं. एंड बाय द वे, आप यही चाह रहे हैं चारों पिलर्स. मैं आपसे कह रहा हूं, इधर आप आ नहीं रहे हैं पॉलिटिकल साइड पे, उधर मुझे आप लोग चाहिए. आप फाइनेंशियल साइड पे अकेले जा रहे हैं, वहां से नहीं मिलने वाले पैसे. वी आर कनेक्टिंग एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग टुगेदर. अगर 100,000 Muslim kids or families come together globally, you have no idea. Your kids don't need jobs anymore. They'll be launching little platforms and products and whatever, and that's it. And they won't need the money because they know how to use that money. हम लोग अपने अपना सोच के, अपने अपने घर और अपनी बीवी और बच्चों का सोच के एक दूसरे की गर्दन पे पैर रख चुके हैं. अभी मैं आपको केस स्टडी दिखाता हूं. जब आप आए कितनी मिनट, 15 मिनट, 11. Yeah, right now. Okay. So we're going to break for 15.
No, after the full lunch break.
Oh, 1 hour?
Yeah,
1
1 hour.
hour. Okay. Really? 1 hour. How much are you going? How much you going to eat? It's a 30 minute thing, eh? Yeah. Okay, 30 minutes. Okay, 40. Okay, let's just go meet in the middle, eh? 40. How do you say 40? 30. Okay, I'll be back in 30. We will talk, but we will start the official camp program in 40. Okay, because we have to pray Salah, Zuhr, and lunch. Okay, Bismillah. Let's reconvene. Before I go into this, I hope everybody knows that we are supposed to be in a single WhatsApp group after this. Whoever is registered should be in a single group. I will be a part of that group, and a lot of other people will be part of that group, but it'll be group Birmingham, so that we can connect you and the follow-up session, because this is not enough time for these sort of things. Whoever wants to participate in the next few steps of learning and connecting, we need those people to know what's going on in wherever we're trying to achieve whatever. Okay? So I know I'm not marketing that WhatsApp group really well, but we all need to be in there. Okay? Yeah, there you go. Whoa, nice. So finally we fixed it. Okay, now let me just recap so that we can understand where we're at, because this is going to get a little tough from here on. Okay? A little meaty. That's the word you're using, Birmingham. Okay, so this is the Muslim landscape. Understand what's going on in your homes, especially in your children's bedrooms. Imam Ghazali didn't go through enough text to consume, which your 20-year-olds and 18-year-olds are consuming over YouTube in their bedrooms. Okay, in 1 year. Ibn al-Qayyim did not know enough content all his life, which your 30-year-old has consumed over YouTube. Now, that's good or bad content, doesn't really matter. What matters is that it is there. Well, it matters that it is supposed to be good content. What I'm saying is, understand what's going on. The library has changed its meaning. Knowledge set flows through digital media, which means that you guys are the first generation which is going to go through that problem with their kids, because you guys are aware of the word book. And you guys knew the value of a book, I'm assuming. And your kids will be like, whatever I'm going to get from the book, I can get twice as much in the same time from 10 videos, which are going to be pertinent, relevant, and correct. Yeah, and they will be right when they're going to say that. So understand what's going on. The 3 layers. Don't forget the 3 layers. The people of knowledge are in the central layer. They create the people of change. Okay? They create, yes. आ रहा हूँ, उसी पे आ रहा हूँ मैं, उसी का prelude दोबारा से, I'm recapping it. Okay? So, where were we? So, people of knowledge. Now, if I ask you, who's calling the shots on your kids' knowledge sets? Would you be able to know? Make sure you don't forget, we're here in this slide. We want a control over how the thought is built inside the mind of my son or daughter. Okay? That's my job as a father. If you do not know, you're not doing your job as a father. Who is constructing the thought of your child? That was the only job as a father. And some guy over some studio in some place in Miami is going to be developing thought in my son. That's my failure. That's my job to know. And I'm not saying he's doing a good job or not. No. He could be doing the right thing. But that's my job to make sure those kind of things go into the minds of my kind of sons and daughters. So, who's calling the shots? Where is what is YouTube look like in Birmingham? आप लोग इस सेशन में आए हैं, इसका मतलब है कि there's something in common between you guys, all of you guys. That you guys are Islamic. You guys are, more into religious content. Your kids should be looking at some or many of those influencers which are pumping content on YouTube or whatever, media, social, Instagram or whatever. So, who are the names calling the shots in Birmingham? Hijab. What else? Who else? Akhi Ahmed. Ayman. Akhi Ayman. Who else? Girls. Umar Suleiman. Okay, really? From all the way from America. Numan Ali Khan. Who else? Ali Dawa. Mufti Mank. Yeah, Mufti Mank is common between, a lot of cities. Who else? Zakir Naik, yes. Yeah, really? You listen to Bilal Asad? Really? Okay. That's far. Really? Birmingham? Dr. Israr? Your kids? Your kids? What's your name? Manur? Do you know Dr. Israr? Really? You know him? You know of him? But you don't know him. You don't know what he represents, what he's talking about. Okay. See, yeah, Dr. Israr is kind of low probability. Okay. Boys would be into Dr. Israr. Mirza. Okay. Mirza Saab. Yes. Maulana Ishaq. Really? I wish, yeah. Ho hi na jaye, Maulana Ishaq. Youth club. Really? Youth club. Yeah, okay. Go on. Listen, I'm trying to do the math here. I'm going to tell you how it works. Okay. All of Ghamdi Saab. Yes. Ghamdi Saab. Okay. Respectable name. Ghamdi Saab is calling the shots on a lot of overseas Muslims. Yes. Who else? By the way, a lot of things you better take from Ghamdi Saab. Okay? He's probably the only real guy who's teaching you how to think critically. Okay? Make sure you understand. Give credit where credit is due. G. Yasir Qadhi. Yes. Probably the foremost name. I don't know why he didn't come up as the number 1 name. So Birmingham is more into English speakers than Americans, eh? No, okay. Hussain. Oh, Mufti Hussain. Okay, okay. Now, all of these combine to make 1% of the thought process in the masonry of our children's mind. Rest of the 99% do not come from YouTube, or even if they are, they're in YouTube flourishing way more, seeping way deeper, and they're not Muslims. Okay? Because these people are a reaction to that sort of onslaught. All the names that you named, they are a reaction. You're going to them for refuge. Otherwise, no one in England or America or wherever you are, even if you go there or study there or work there, they're not Muslims. Obviously, you're not in a Muslim populated area. You're about 4 million Muslims in England, and that's it. What's the population of England? Yeah? You don't know the population of the country you live in. Who's gonna give me 75. 7.5 crore. 75 million. Yeah. 75 million. So 70 million is non-Muslim, 5 million is Muslim-ish. Okay? 4 million-ish. And out of those, you guys came here in this room. Out of those, you cannot have this false confidence that 70 million, who is influenced by whatever million around the world, is not influencing your kids. So if I take any one of the child from here, the children, anyone, and then filter his thought process, you're going to find none of the names that you're actually named. And you are pumping Umar Suleimans and Yasir Qazis as medicine because it's suffering. Okay? That's why these medicines don't work. You understand me? Even if you want to clean him, he's going to get dirty again. And then he comes back home. You rinse and repeat. And then he or she comes back and you see a lot of progress from the other side. And then you start to give up. That's common fatigue. And mommies give up sooner than daddies. Daddies get agitated and domestic disturbance starts because of this one child's thought is not under control of either one of the parents. That's a simple spiral of every overseas Muslim. People who are more religious are going to go more cranky and more psycho. People who are not so religious are going to be like, yeah, chal ye bhi chalta hai, chal theek hai. Kalma to padh lena. Juma padh liya kar bas. And they, they go into that sort of settlement. And then, one generation later, wo Juma bhi Eid ki namaz mein convert. Eid ki namaz to padhi liye. And then 2 generations later, namaz janaza is the only thing that is going to be remaining of our kids. But that's not something which, you guys came in together. You guys are living as Muslim communities. I just heard 1,400 masjids in Birmingham alone. Like, are you kidding me with this? Pure Pakistan mein itni nahi honi. I know, figure of speech. What's going on here? Yeah, it is just about self-satisfaction that I am doing my part. I get it. Now, look at this. This is your one hand. I'm just talking about Muslims here, okay? I'm not talking about Jordan Petersons and, Sam Harris's and whatnot. The Muslim household right now is split into this. And 2 kinds of Muslims are going to be here. You're going to find that hijabi and that dadiwala and that, all of that stuff, with like, I'm going to go for 4 mahine or 6 mah, all that. Yahan bhi hai na Birmingham mein bhi. And that really die-hard fanatic of Farhat Hashmi lover girl who's like sunglasses over the hijab. And she's trying to get all the girls, oh, Ustaza ka lecture hai, Ustaza ka lecture hai. And you guys are running away from that girl. And then for that compensation, you go through YouTube and Raat ko Tariq Jameel ki video chal jati hai bas. You see, these 2 bodies are totally separate, okay, in behavior. Inki underpinning ek hi hai. Of course, you guys are all Muslims. You're all Muslims. Underpinning is Islamic. So we fall back on some sort of a sentiment of Islam. But these people are called conservatives and these people are called liberals because now you're going to classify them based on this. A liberal person is a guy who demands... No, he demands liberty. That's liberty, that's liberal. And Islam actually liberated the Arabs. So Islam is liberal. You need to understand that. And that's the chief argument. And a conservative would be like, you know what? I'm not going to be that liberal. I'm not going to be self-owing. I'm not going to be self-serving. I'm going to be God-serving. So this natural voice, understand, even if I spend 10 hours on this, and you should get this only one thing from this session. Job well done then. Where is the source of liberalism? It is innate. God gave us this source of liberalism. We were born with it. You have to understand, we are the sons and daughters of Adam alayhi salam. Where was he made? Heaven. And in heaven, you get total liberty. So it's in our progeny to demand liberty. You need to understand where liberalism, it's in our blood. Everything human beings are doing is trying to chase that liberty. Islam or any other philosophy harnesses it. That's all it does. And Islam does the exact, it addresses it to the core. That's where you're going to understand this ayah. That you want heaven and that liberty, you're not going to practice that on this planet. You're going to practice submission on this planet, we're going to liberate you in heaven. You're going to think of anything that's going to happen for you. You're going to be the only alpha in that planet. That's what heaven is. But since we were made in heaven, that's the foremost lesson of the story of Adam alayhi salam. And we are never told the story in this angle. That's why we can't understand where the thought is coming from. Where is this rebel inside? This rebel inside is against that chain that Islam puts, that, you know what? This is temporary, man. This planet is temporary. You gotta submit, serve other people. There is a law that you're gonna submit to so that you can earn that liberty there. That's it. That's the story of Adam alayhi salam. So I'm not gonna go in that detail. We all know the story of Adam alayhi salam. And then, this is now you're gonna understand, self-made. I never could understand a Muslim saying self-made. Because you cannot have God-made and self-made at the same time. But we use this word self-made so many times. Self-made admi hai. You know, everything is, what is the American dream? What is it? What is the American dream? By the way, you came for the American dream here as well. Because the American dream sits on personal liberty and freedom. That's why you're in England. Personal liberty and freedom is self-made, self-sufficient, that I myself I'm all I need to live in this planet. That's why you're going to see a lot of your kids behaving. Okay, I need to move out. Muslim kids moving out at 18, 19, 20. And you think अंग्रेज देखा इंग्लैंड आने का नुकसान क्या हुआ? इंग्लैंड आने का नुकसान हुआ है या नहीं हुआ? वो जो अंदर से जिद्दत आ रही है वो नेचुरल है उसकी. Pakistani kids should have moved out, men, when they're 20, 21, after getting married. We contain them. कि नहीं, सारे भाई एक ही घर में रहेंगे, सारी बीवियों के साथ. You know, एक भी साहबी जॉइंट फैमिली में नहीं था, एक भी नहीं था, क्योंकि वो इस्लाम के सारे उसूल तोड़वा देता है जॉइंट फैमिली सिस्टम. सेकेंडली, जॉइंट फैमिली सिस्टम तो बात की बात है, हर एक के चार चार भाई थोड़ी होते. You cannot be living under your father if you have a wife to control and run the household. Two decision makers in one house over one woman. That's taghut. Taghut, you know why? Because हमने फर्ज किया है उस बहू पे एक खास ससुर और एक खास सास. वो अल्लाह ने नहीं फर्ज किया, हमने कर दी तागूतों की. You cannot put something mandatory unless Allah says it's mandatory. So, यहाँ पे आके वो liberty आपको बच्चा call करेगा. He's going to call for it. It's natural. You need to know where the lines are drawn. Now you'll understand this. Now this is the Muslim landscape. This conservative Muslim, who whether it makes sense or not is going to follow whatever the Imam told. This liberal is going to ask you a million questions coming from England to the Imam. Even if the Imam makes sense, he's not going to believe it. Because English senses something else, the Imam senses something else. So these two people are going to keep colliding. And वो वाले लोग इधर नहीं पाए जा सकते हैं. I'm one of those places where a lot of these things combine. Okay? But your classic, जो नाम आपने लिए हैं, उधर liberals नहीं पाए जाते. You will not find Farhat Hashmi's lectures with liberal girls or Yasir Qazi's lectures or Umar Sulaiman's. But Umar Sulaiman में फिर आ जाएंगे. You see? Because there is a difference of thought. Now look at this bottom slide. This is your new age Muslim. This is half and half. This is a product of, mixture of thought. It's not confusion, it's a mixture of thought. They're both justifying their position. They're not confused. He justifies his thought. He justifies his thought. He is coming up with these words mixed through Islam and other things. He is coming through these words only coming through Islamic scholarship. This boy or girl is a mixture and hybrid of both. And you're going to find maybe all of you guys are this hybrid. Maybe all of you guys are. Maybe some of you guys are here. So you're either here or here. Most of you guys. Exceptional cases will be there. So where is the sourcing? Understand, it's going to be a little technical. एक दफा समझ आ गई उसके बाद life will be easier. Okay? This is the problem. Who can tell me what this word means? Secularism. Forget abhi liberalism ko chhod dein. What is secularism? Girls. Amra. Say what now? No. That's sectarianism. Okay? What is secularism? What is seclusion in English? Come on, Birmingham. What is seclusion? No, what is the word seclusion? Forget secularism. Secluded. Yeah, what does that mean? Forget secularism. I changed the word, okay? What is seclusion?
When you're secluded from something.
Yeah, you can't use the same word in the meaning of the word that you're trying to find. Yeah?
And then you said not to answer secularism.
Forget secularism. What is seclusion? Oh, come on, England. Isolation, yes. Seclusion means, Yeah. Bilkul. Seclusion means, to separate somebody. Yeah. So secularism is just, seclusion of two different things. What are those two different things? Here they are. These are those two different things. That's why Pakistani genuine confusion में हर लफ्ज़ जो feel आती है लफ्ज़ बोलना शुरू करता है. Islamic secularism. Can you believe what a guy like me goes through? What he's trying to do is, whoever is going to say Islamic secularism, he's saying Islam में liberalism है. He just does not know the word liberalism, but this is such a famous word and they don't really know English. So what they do is Islamic secularism. Okay, Islam is liberal. Yeah, I can say whatever I want to say in a Muslim land. In the time of Sahaba, it was the most open society, it means liberal society. You could have practiced any religion there. Okay, the golden period of Judaism is spent under the Muslim rule. And that's not our words, they're their words. So, वो कहना ये चाह रहे होते हैं Islamic secularism वाले, what it means libertarianism. Okay? So what is secularism? It's very simple. When these are the two splits. Based on, this guy says all the laws come from Allah. This guy says I can make my own laws. Okay? Simple. Let me reiterate this. Laws of Allah, I'm going to adhere to all the laws of Allah only. He's going to say, I'm going to adhere to all the laws of Allah because they're all Muslims, but I am at liberty to make new laws based on situations I'm in. Islam gives me that liberty to make new laws based on new situations. Okay? And of course, the trickle-down effect is that I can make new laws over anything. So, what is secularism? Simple. Understand what secularism is. Secularism is when the state and the people are two different bodies, and the state will not intervene in religious legislation, and the people will not intervene in state legislations. So, the government and the governance is going to make all the laws, regardless of religion or not, based on situations, based on experts. And people, if they want to follow the laws of God, of whether Christian God or Muslim God or Jew God, they're going to go to the synagogues and churches and masjids and just practice it in the seclusion. You understand me now? Everybody clear? Now you'll understand this slide. Now everyone is in this sphere, because all of the countries you'll see anywhere in the planet, and all the religions you're going to see anywhere on the planet, are letting the states make the laws. That's how simple things are. And now you understand why they're letting these states make whatever they're going to do. And this is what's called secularism. So most of the world was already secular, but now Muslims are 100% secular. Even the Muslim scholarship is 100% secular. So all those names that you named, they are not going to invite for your kids to go into making the laws and policies. That's the problem. जिस चीज से बचाने के लिए आपने यासिर काजी को इंस्टॉल किया था, वो उस चीज की दवाई है ही नहीं. ये मसला आप सॉल्व भी नहीं कर सकते. That's something which is going to enhance the effect. We know why? जब मुझे मेरा मौलवी साहब कह देना, दुनिया किसी भी फिरके का, शिया सुन्नी बरेलवी देवबंदी सल्फी भाभी फरत हाशमी हो या यास्मीन मुजाहिद, खवातीन की दो ही नाम आ रहे थे, जब मुझे रिलीजियस फिगर एंडोर्स कर दे कि नहीं ये काम नहीं है तुम्हारा, उसके बाद आई गेट सुपर एनर्जाइज्ड टू डू व्हाटएवर आई एम डूइंग, बिकॉज ठप्पा एंडोर्समेंट सर्टिफिकेशन वैलिडिटी रिलीजियस डॉक्ट्रिन से आ गई है, बिकॉज वी आर ऑल इमोशनली Muslims. All they need is a turban or a hijabi, hadith or a, जो आपने कहा था, एक आयत सुना के या हदीस सुना के, you're going to spin me into my belief system. This is the problem. First slide, वापस आएं. There. This my deeper system. That's how I'm going to translate into action. That's why there is no action. Our current custodians of our belief, the Muslim turbans and the Muslim scholars, they are saying that Islam is not about, Islam is peace. Islam is not about making laws. Leave this law making to Nawaz Sharif and Zardaris and go to the masjid, 5 bas namazi, kalma, namaz, roza, zakat, hajj. Where is the legislation in kalma or namaz or zakat or hajj or roza? There is no law or policy around this. This is a problem. First understand the landscape. This is the problem where the religious mindset goes away from the policy or the product or the process, and then these people naturally take over. इसलिए गवर्नमेंट्स में पाकिस्तान हो या इंडिया हो, जितना मर्जी इसराइल का राइट विंग गवर्नमेंट हो, लीबिया हो, ट्यूनीसिया हो, अमेरिका हो, डोनाल्ड ट्रंप हो, you see right wingers, but they're not using their books. Donald Trump will stand with the Bible to just get a picture done. But if he uses the Bible, he's out. Because he needs the Republican vote, coming from the 7 states which is the Bible Belt. He invokes the church to get the vote, the red states. That's where the problem is. The other problem is, yahan pe aake, when Justin Trudeau invites all the Muslims, say, no, Islamophobia ke khilaf sabse badi movement main karunga. He says that, he does that. And every Muslim is like, oh, we love Justin. We love you, Justin, except the fact that you're endorsing LGBT at the same time. See, kids are naturally going to be confused. It's to mommy, I thought you liked Justin Trudeau. Yeah, we like him. That confused Muslim is not going to be able to draw the lines between where to call the shots, man. I know your hands are raising, don't worry. I'm supposed to pinch your brains. So, what's going on? These three Muslims, my kids, your kids, are coming from these sort of funnels. So where can we find a solution? Well, we have a solution, don't worry. First, understand the problem. This is the problem. This is your problem. Your classic scholarship of Islam, wherever, from Makkah, Medina to Islamabad to Indonesia, to Tunisia. जिस मर्जी वीडियो को उठा के देख लें, उर्दू में बता रहा हूं, you'll find routines and rituals. You'll find individual focus. You'll find personal belief in Aqidah. Okay, good enough. We love you. Every one of you names, I love all of them. Because they're giving you that. You need that. They're not wrong. But that's not going to solve any problem. What they're not giving you is thought leadership. Natural demand of every human being. They're only going to reproduce the thought. Actually, उनका अकीदा है कि नई बात करूंगा तो कुफर हो जाएगा. That's why they were never going to say, oh, no, nothing new. Well, nothing new in fiqh, of course. But everything is new in hikmah. Because hikmah is the solution of new problems. They're not into thought leadership. They're never going to say global change. They're going to only say Muslim Ummah only. All the names that you named. They're not going to say public policy. Never. Because that's the matter of the state. Ab pata masla kya ho raha hai? You know what the bigger problem is? These words are your natural need. And you know who's using it? Who is using it? No, not just the liberals. Not liberal Muslims. The liberals of the world, which are nothing to do with Islam or Christianity or any religion. Because they're genuine liberals. That's why our kids are listening to most, 99% of all of that thought is coming through non-Muslim scholarship. They're sociologists, they're psychologists, they're political scientists, they're economists, they're commerce experts, they're business leaders. उठा के देख लें YouTube, देख लें कौन ज़्यादा निकलता है. Every big influencer on the planet right now is a non-Muslim. And I don't care Islam or non-Muslim है, वो बेशक मुसलमान हो ना हो, doesn't matter. This is what he's trying to give. Why? Thought उसकी ये है और tool उसके क्या है? These are the tools he's using. These are his tools. That's how he grabs everybody's attention, even mine, because this is my natural need. Muslims are not coming in these realms. That's why I'm coming overseas. पाकिस्तान में ये लफ्ज किसी को पता ही नहीं चल सकते. मैं बेशक 10 साल का कोर्स शुरू कर दूं. No one is going to understand these words. And England में आपके बच्चों को ये words नाश्ते में दिए. किसने? क्वीन विक्टोरिया ने. ये जो लाइन है ना, ये नीचे जो लेके जा रहा है हमें, वो मुसलमान स्कॉलर है. क्योंकि उसने कहा तलाक 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 तलाक. और बच्चा हमारा फिर छुप के इन स्कॉलर्स को सुनता है. उसने सुनना ही सुनना है. ऑफ कोर्स कोई नहीं, आपका बच्चा पब्लिक पॉलिसी में नहीं आएगा तो पब्लिक पॉलिसी इंप्लीमेंट तो फिर भी उसी के ऊपर होगी ना. Your local MP is still going to be a local MP whether you like him or not. It doesn't matter what you say about him. You got to do whatever he has to, write or research. He's going to implement it regardless of whatever you want. So this is where it comes as a drain. Your group think versus your individual focus. So group think क्या कर रहा होता है? Group think क्या? What do you know what group think is? Your herd psychology. Okay? Your herd effect. जत्था कहीं और मूव कर रहा है पूरे के पूरे, ग्रुप कहीं और मूव कर रहा है, इंडिविजुअल साइकोलॉजी कहीं और कुछ और सोच रही है. हार्मनी प्रिंसिपल क्या है? व्हाट इज दैट? एवरीवन इज डूइंग समथिंग, माय चाइल्ड इज गोना थिंक अल्लाह रसूल का हुक्म है, इसलिए एवरीवन इज डूइंग समथिंग. दैट्स हार्मनी प्रिंसिपल. आप लोग इंडिविजुअल फोकस और बरकत निकाल रहे हैं कुरान से हम सारे, और हमारे बच्चे सोच रहे हैं ये जो पूरा का पूरा इंग्लैंड का क्राउड बर्मिंघम का जिस तरफ मोशन कर रहा है ये अल्लाह का ही हुक्म है. सो आई एम गोना डू व्हाटएवर दिस होल सिस्टम इज टेलिंग मी टू डू. दैट्स नॉर्मल एंड नेचुरल. मेरा इतना बड़ा फोकस ओवरसीज पे क्यों है? व्हाई डू यू थिंक आई एम रिलाइंग ऑन यू गाइस, इवन दो यू गाइस आर वे more into this, well, you're not in Muslim land anyway, so you're not going to find Islamic systems here. Why am I focusing on you? What's going on here? Because England is giving you this regardless of Islam, and Muslim land में तो ये हो ही नहीं सकता. आप नोटिस करें ये कौन से मुस्लिम डोमिनेटेड मुल्क के अंदर, सूडान से पाकिस्तान तक, इंडोनेशिया से लीबिया तक, ये लफ्ज़ कौन सी जगह पे, ये कहाँ से आ रही है? पाकिस्तान के अंदर थॉट लीडरशिप कौन कर रहा है? इंग्लैंड. लिटरली इंग्लैंड. पाकिस्तान में ग्लोबल चेंज इनिशिएट होती है? नो, पाकिस्तान इज एन अफेक्टिव ऑफ द ग्लोबल चेंज. कहां से आती है? स्कैंडिनेविया से आती है. ऑल द पॉलिसी ऑफ द न्यू एज, न्यू egalitarianish systems are coming from Sweden and Norway. That's why I'm going to Norway next, to get my kids back from Norway, not to Pakistan, to Islam. I want them in Norway. Norway is the name of a pedestal. Political reforms. Pakistan? Really? Really? Who's setting the political reforms in Pakistan? Yeah, USA. So I need the American Muslims, kids. The chess game is right in front of us. It's basic psychology 101. So unless we connect these important areas, which is Norway, Sweden, and England, and America, we're not going to be able to do anything for Pakistan. Well, I don't really care much about Pakistan right now. I care about Islam. So Islam ki agar power pakadni hum. So we have a case study which is Pakistan. Let's get it done. But unless you know the skill required, unless you know the power required, now you understand why I say have more babies, because I need more kids here. I need more kids performing in these realms. If you do not know what is the power upon us, तो फिर हम फिर चारा दे रहे हैं. We are actually feeding, like literally feeding these powers. क्योंकि the best ghulam, the best servant is the servant who obeys and does nothing against. We are creating the finest servants for whatever systems we're putting ourselves into. Even better servants than our own selves will be our kids. So, वापस कैसे जाते हैं? Here you go. So, what is going on? What do we fix? This is what's going on. This is how we fix. Remember, we talked about how an immigrant comes to England. What was the gyroscope, Taha? Remember? Now, this is why I asked you, who are your people of knowledge here? Okay. Who are the people of power in Birmingham? Umar Suleiman, Yasir Qazi is the people of knowledge, eh? Who are the people of power? Who is the politician? Give me a name. Who's the mayor running in Birmingham? Andrew? Andy. Oh, you think? No. Come on, you don't know your own mayor? Okay, Andy. And who else? Give me more names of people who are influencing Birmingham and the bigger area of England. Rishi Sunak, yeah? Rishi, yeah? Come on, you start with that, right? Who else? Sadiq Khan, yeah? Sadiq Khan, Hamza Yusuf. Yeah, who else? Yeah, okay. Now, imagine that. These are your people of power. I don't think you named the right people in the right power. You're just giving me names of some people who are actually, you being used by the power. Okay? But okay. Who are the people of resources in Birmingham? See, we don't even speak the same language, eh? Okay, who's the richest Muslim in Birmingham? Who's the most politically connected Pakistani in Birmingham? Yeah, ये पता है सबसे प्यारी लड़की कौन है बर्मिंघम की? ये नहीं पता काम का बंदा किधर है? That's the problem. Who's got the finest car or the biggest house? ये हमें पता होगा. See, we're not looking at the game right. Now, that's not even the bigger problem. You know the bigger problem is that the name that you mention in 10 years from now, inshallah, will be the people of knowledge, who are the people of power with the right resources. That's what our kids better have. ये नहीं कर सके आप तो खुदारा बच्चे ना पैदा करें फिर the more you're going to have kids, the bigger the fight is, because more गुलाम पैदा कर दिए हमने. उनमें से फिर निकलेंगे और people of knowledge, convincing my kids and the right kids के नहीं इस्लाम में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. इस्लाम में बस गुलामी कर, कुछ भी आ जाए कलमा पढ़ता है सजदा कर दे, नवाज शरीफ आए अतात कर, उलुल अमर है तेरा. That's what's going to happen. This is the problem I'm trying to solve. आप चला मस्जिद फतवे क्यों दे रही है मेरे ऊपर? That's where you get the answer. कि मेरे ऊपर फतवे क्यों लग रहे हैं? Because I'm saying, oh people of knowledge, why are you buying to the people of power when they are 100% probable to break the law of Allah, not to enforce it? They are making new laws. Where are we missing out? We're missing out on our definitions. That's it. So why do we miss out on definitions? This is how we make definitions. कि high self-esteem का बंदा इधर tilt होता है और low self-esteem का बंदा इधर tilt होता है. So that's why I asked you, why did you come to England? You said, pound. Enough pound of pressure is on us, That is how pressure is measured, eh? Pounds. So there is a lot of pressure coming to England. Okay, well, if you're still looking for resources right now, that's your life plan in 10 years, आपकी esteem develop नहीं हुई. I'm giving you group counseling here. If you're still making money plans, sorry. You are the guy, you are the problem. You are the problem every real Muslim is going to have to solve first. क्योंकि मुसलमानों ने आपस में एक दूसरे को पकड़ के नीचे खींचना शुरू कर दिया. और वो सिर्फ हाई सेल्फ एस्टीम का बंदा. नाउ यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हेन आई से, एंड आई एम होपिंग यू हर्ड इट, कि कुरान समझ ही हाई सेल्फ एस्टीम के बंदे को आ सकता है. उसके अलावा कुरान उसको डराएगा सुलाएगा. दो ही काम होते हैं, या डर जाते हैं या सो जाते हैं. कभी सुना ना आंटी कहती हूँ कि कुरान खोलते ही नींद आ रही, इतना सुकून है. वो लो सेल्फ एस्टीम की देसी आंटी मरवाएगी सबको. सुना आपने भी? इमेजिन, यही बात फिजिक्स के प्रोफेसर की बात कर रही हूँ कि फिजिक्स में इतना अच्छा प्रोफेसर हूँ, मैं क्लास में जाता हूँ लोग सो जाते हैं. You'll be like, dude, there's something wrong with you. Because when you're in the class, people should be awake and learning rather sleeping. और क्या आयत मुझे पता, तुम कुरान की आयत के खिलाफ, अल्लाह ने कहा है कि कुरान में सुकून है. सोचिए जरा किस एंगल से पकड़ देता है. So पावर, कुरान पावर नहीं दे रहा. वाइद्दु लहुम मस्ततातुम मिन कुव्वा, सेंट्रल आयत है. बिगेस्ट स्कॉलरशिप इन द 1400 years have argued कि बाइबल और कुरान में अगर फर्क है तो वो इस आयत का फर्क है. वाइद्दु लहुम मस्ततातुम मिन कुव्वा, get all the power you can, O Muslims, and muster it up against whatever law or whatever force is going to come against you. That's pretty much the 180-degree tilt against the Pauline philosophy of the Bible. So how can you justify anything if the Quran is actually telling you कि भाई power तो पकड़नी है आपने? So this is where the problem becomes a bigger problem कि मुसलमान खुद ही definition से हट गए. So what is the fourth type of Muslim? The fourth type of Muslim you better start creating now. Okay. The fourth type is not a hybrid. No, it's an absolute Muslim. Simple. That I'm going to take everything from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the Sahabas. I'm going to recreate all the psychology from Umar Khattab and Ali bin Abi Talib and Abu Bakr Siddiq and Usman bin Affan and many people as I can, muster up wherever literature I can get. कि जब Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam का system revive करने की बात आएगी, we will know how and why. So you will find two different Muslims now, the fourth type and the three types. All the three types, all the liberals and the new age and the conservatives are here who say, नहीं इस्लाम में साहिल मियाँ की अपनी कोई थ्योरी है, ये खुद ही लगा हुआ है, इस्लाम में कुछ सबूत लगाओ. I was in Australia, कैमरे पे ना आने देना, and there were four scholars. Ironically, I'm not a scholar. Ghamdi साहब उधर थे, Melbourne में, no plans of nobody, okay? Noman Ali Khan was there, Yasir Qazi was there, and I was there. We were actually handling Melbourne at the same time. It was such a weird thing. Melbourne वालों ने सोचा था हमने प्लान करके 4 पाकिस्तानी आ गए अलग-अलग मुल्कों से. So weird. By that time मैंने समझा था Yasir Qazi is Bengali. I did not know he's a Pakistani. Maybe उस वक्त मेलबर्न में किसने गलत बताया. Where is he from? Oh, he's a Pakistani. So these 4 Pakistanis infested Melbourne. And all I got was a manazara कि ये दीन को कुरान से साबित करो. तुमने खुद ही निकाल दिया दीन कुरान के दीन एक laws and system है. These kind of arguments started flying around and I was like, where you, ये कौन सिखा रहा तुम्हें? सर हम नुमान अली खान का लेक्चर लेके आए हैं, गांधी साहब का लेक्चर लेके आए हैं, हम यासिर काजी का लेक्चर लेके आए, all of these. And I spent 15 days trying to just fight off, like मैं किधर ऑस्ट्रेलिया आया हूँ and I'm fighting the Pakistani fight. Where did this go wrong? Okay, so I'll tell you why deen is the system, the laws. I'll tell you right now, right here. But unless you understand the word deen and understand the meaning of deen is a legislative body, you're going to go through this problem. You're going to go through this problem. कि ये इस्लाम को लॉज की मशीन कहाँ से बना दिया आपने, या दीन का मतलब लॉज एंड लीगल सिस्टम कहाँ से बना दिया आपने. This is a problem you're going to go through. The masjid, not English systems. ये मस्जिद की तरफ से मसला आएगा. That's where you need to understand. कुरान पाक में दीन का लफ्ज़ कैसे देखना है और मुसलमानों को कैसे मोबिलाइज करना है कि भाई कॉम्पिटेंस नहीं पकड़ेगा तो तुझे कोई लॉयर नहीं बनाएगा, लॉयर नहीं बनाएगा तो कोई जज नहीं बनाएगा, और तू जज नहीं बनेगा तो तेरा लॉ नहीं चलने वाला, क्योंकि ऑफ कोर्स तू मुसलमान है तो तूने अल्लाह का लॉ लेके आना है. सो मेक श्योर हु कैन रीड दिस. सबको नजर आ रही है? ओके. फ्रॉम द गर्ल साइड सूरह फातिहा सुनाए कोई एक, कोई है, जस्ट एनी गर्ल. यस. नहीं, अरबी.
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन अर्रहमानिर रहीम मालिक यौमिद्दीन.
पॉज. मालिक यौमिद्दीन का क्या मतलब है? ना, पूरे कायनात के मालिक. मालिक यौम का मतलब होता है डे. अद्दीन. मालिक यौमिद्दीन का मतलब क्या है? क़यामत के दिन का मालिक. अब कुरान स्टार्ट हो रहा है, ठीक है, कुरान स्टार्ट हो रहा है इधर से. क्या नाम है आपका बेटा?
मोमिना राशिद.
मोमिना जी. व्हाट इज मालिक यौमिद्दीन? या हाँ, आई कैन हियर यू.
ये तो ना क्या है कि क़यामत आ चुकी है,
मैंने कब कहा क़यामत आ गई? मैं कह रहा हूँ दीन का मतलब बताएं। हाँ हाँ, अल्लाह के यहाँ क़यामत आ चुकी है, अल्लाह के यहाँ क़यामत आ चुकी है।
ये आपकी तफसीर है ना, आपकी तफसीर कर रहे हैं। आपकी बहुत सी बातें मुझे पसंद आई हैं, आपका अंदाज़ बयान भी बहुत पसंद आया है, लेकिन काफ़ी चीज़ों से इख्तलाफ भी है। लेकिन अदब का तकाज़ा ये है कि बात पूरी सुन लिया जाए और फिर अपने इख्तलाफात को अदब के साथ पेश कर दिया जाए। इसलिए मैं आपकी बात सुन रहा हूँ, लेकिन नोट भी करते जा रहा हूँ साथ साथ। मौका मिलेगा तो फिर बात करूँगा।
तो क़यामत आ चुकी है वाली बात तो अभी नहीं करेंगे ना।
यौम-उद-दीन जो है, it refers classically by all mufassirin, including the Arabs, all of them.
What does that mean?
The day of reckoning, क़यामत के दिन जो आएगा। पहली क़यामत कब्र की होती है।
Sir, we're talking about the timeline here. Forget the timeline. I'm not even talking about the timeline.
It means a day of judgment, a reckoning. यौम हश्र।
Okay.
सब कुछ जमा किया।
So since you're at it, okay, because you're right on the on.
We're having a conversation, dialogue. We're not at anything. We're just having a dialogue conversation.
No, you are at an ayah. Why is everyone picking on me today?
No, we're not. This is an exchange. You wanted it interactive.
So I just said, since you're at the ayah, why don't you recite this too? No, this one.
I can't even see it there, to be honest with you. But Malik Yawmiddin, you wanted the translation, you wanted the meaning of it. That's the classical scholarship.
So since we are at it, I'll tell you what's written here. Okay? It's a very simple word. Don't complicate this. If the Quran did not hold this meaning, this ayah is not explainable. So anyone can read this? Where's the translation, please? Louder for everyone. Just the English.
Those who begin searching their back before back with brothers, then go out of then Zameen's back. This is how we inspired to time. He could not have taken his brother under the king's cloak, but Allah had will we elevate in rank. However, we will but above those ranking in knowledge in the one all-knowing.
So what's going on is Yusuf al-Islam is his brother, of course, we're talking about his brother, that the king at that time is not allowing his brother to enter the country. Okay? Now the king had a system, just like England had a system. So when I am not allowed to enter England, how am I going to find that? Yes, there's a department for it, run by the Home Office, eh? Yeah. So there's going to be a legislation through which I would know that I'm not allowed to enter the country. No matter law I broke or whatever conditions that are applied on me, doesn't matter. But the system is going to be explaining it as a qualifier or a disqualifier of my kind of person. Okay? It is that simple. When Allah says that his brother could not have taken, or Yusuf al-Islam could not take his brother into the country under the law of the king. Now what does it say in Arabic? Yeah. So in the deen of the king, this is Allah's Azza wa Jal saying. Okay, now my brother here. Now you know why I was talking about, since we're at it, Maliki Yawmiddin comes into its true meaning when we understand that this is not just a day. It is the culmination of a system on that day. Every deed, every single reckoning or accounting will be done, which of course we were doing during all of our lives, which are not going to be done here on this planet. They will be done on that day. That's okay. अब ये उसूल बनाए हुए थे, ये लॉज थे, पूरे किए हैं, बता देते हैं, नहीं पूरे किए, कहाँ तोड़े हैं, बता देते हैं. That's the yom of deen. Okay? So our system of Islam culminates after we die on that one day. That's why you do not see justice in this planet. Divine, bolt of lightning striking whenever we commit a sin. No, that's going to happen on that day. We know. So the crime and punishment, the system of crime and punishment in Islam is crime here, punishment there. Okay? But The system is still called the deen. That's why I'm just saying there are two kinds of Muslims you're going to find. Okay? One who are going to be like, you know what? Deen is for whatever, Sahil, what you calling deen is for whatever the political system is, and whatever we call deen is for, for the masjid, which means the prayers and the fasting and everything. Now, here is something which I hope I brought here. There you go. Now, this is why I brought this ayah with me. Because this is an ayah which is going to confuse regular Muslims. Okay? Here Allah Ta'ala says, can you read? Somebody who's a microphone would read the translation.
O believers, whoever among you abandons their faith, Allah will replace them with others who love Him and are loved by Him. They will be humble with the believers but firm towards the disbelievers. Struggling in the way of Allah, fear no blame from anyone. This is the favor of Allah. He grants it to whoever He wills, and Allah is all bountiful, all knowing.
Okay. Let me read this. Allah says here, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, man yartadda minkum an dinihi fasawfa ya'ti Allahu biqawm. Okay? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, oh who you believe. Man yartadda, if you turn back, minkum an dinihi fasawfa ya'ti Allahu biqawm. Look at what is written there in the translation. I didn't write it. Understand what's written there. Now that's where I get confused, because it says deen here and it does not say law here, it says faith. And faith is not the law, it's not the system. Do you understand the problem now? So whenever you're going to read the translation, you're going to be reading somebody's opinion. You're not going to be reading the application of Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You're going to be reading either Maududi's or, Yasir Qazi's or Taqi Usmani's or Farhat Hashmi's or whatever. Good people, but they're under the umbrella that you're not going to, this is something which holds two meanings. And I'm going to interchange those meanings according to what my teacher said. Even though it's very clear what Allah says, if you're going to play with my system, and if you're going to play with the law that I gave you, I'm going to replace you with people who are going to impose their laws on you. It's that simple. Do you know how I know? Because we know when this ayah came in. This ayah came in when Banu Qurayza fought against the Muslims during a pact that they broke. They broke the law. They broke the pact against the Prophet ﷺ. And the Banu Qurayza, the tribe, who were an ally, they were the Jews who were the allies of Muslims. Understand this. If you can understand this, you're going to be free of a lot of burden. Banu Qurayza is calling in for Sa'd bin Mu'az, the leader of Medina. I'm going to use this name a lot, Sa'd bin Mu'az. Understand why. Who is this guy? Because they thought that bilateral communication and diplomatic immunity mil jayegi, jaise Pakistan or China ki hai. That's just like Banu Qurayza and Aus. Aus is the tribe of Sa'd. Aus and Khazraj, remember the two tribes? Aus is run by Sa'd bin Mu'az. Khazraj was run by Sa'd bin Ubadah. Okay, well, before that, Abdullah bin Ubay. Abdullah bin Ubay had saved the Jews from the same law because they broke a law. Forget about the detail. When Prophet ﷺ, declared punishment on them, Abdullah bin Ubay went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, save them please, they're my allies. मैं बड़े एहसान है उनके मेरे ऊपर. Prophet ﷺ said, no. मैं नहीं, अल्लाह का कानून आ चुका है, मैंने फैसला सुना दिया. He started pulling the jubba of Prophet ﷺ, started crying कि बनु नुज़ैर को बचा लें please. मेरे बड़े ties हैं इनके साथ. After so much of his insisting, Prophet said, okay, I'm going to let them go for now. So this had happened before with Khazraj. Banu Qurayza was the ally of Aus. So when this happened to Banu Qurayza, they went to Sa'd bin Mu'az. कि अब्दुल्ला बिन उबे ने बचवा लिया था बनु नुज़ैर को, हमें बचा लेगा साद बिन माज. And this is this man, 37-year-old, who's standing there, and Banu Qurayza comes in and says, whatever Saad will decree upon us, we're okay. Apni taraf se, they're polishing the ego of Saad bin Maaz now. That I'm going to praise Saad bin Maaz, he's going to say something or get something done. So Prophet ﷺ said, okay, Aus ko, Khazraj ko diya tha ye wala leverage, to inko bhi de dete hain. Kar lo, Saad aap faisla kar lo. And Saad bin Maaz is standing there. And he says, if the people on my right do not have a problem, I will declare the decision on Banu Qurayza. People on the right is Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ said, no, I do not have a problem. Aap kare faisla inka. And Saad bin Maaz says, this is what he says. Make sure you understand this ayah. This is about to be revealed right now. Okay? It is a time when this ayah is revealed. Because the Prophet said, Saad, whatever you were saying here, Allah was saying on the seventh heaven. This is the stature of Saad bin Maaz. Saad says, you committed a crime even though you call yourself a believer of the book. Laws tumhare upar hai aur law toda tumne. I'm going to decree upon you a punishment from the law of your own book. The Torah. Because ye wala law to हमने भी बनाया ही नहीं है. मुसलमानों ने तो एक दूसरे को धोखा दिया ही नहीं अभी तक. तो ऐसा law तो आई नहीं है. You already have that law. I'm gonna invoke that law in Torah. By the way, now Islam has the same law. From that day onwards, we took the law. Because Prophet said, okay, you do it. And Allah said, whatever Saad bin Maaz is saying here. So, this is the Prophet standing, this is Saad, this is Banu Qurayza. Saad says, for whatever I'm about to announce, I'm paraphrasing so that you can understand. He said, whatever I'm about to say, Islamophobes are going to use this against all Muslims and Islam till the day of judgment. He didn't say it like this. I'm paraphrasing so that you can understand what he meant. I'll tell you what he literally said. He said, English kids are going to go through Islamophobia. Canadian and American kids, Muslims are going to go through Islamophobia using whatever I'm about to say. Okay, that's what he meant literally. He said, لَقَدْ آنَ لِسَعْدٍ أَنْ لَا تَأْخُذَهُ فِي اللَّهِ لَوْمَةَ لَائِمٍ. Oh, my Lord, please give me the strength to become oblivious to the criticism against Islam of whatever I'm about to say. Because Islam will be criticized. لَقَدْ آنَ لِسَعْدٍ أَنْ لَا تَأْخُذَهُ فِي اللَّهِ لَوْمَةَ لَائِمٍ. And Allah Azza wa Jal says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَنْ يَرْتَدَّ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ فَسَوْفَ يَأْتِي اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ يُحِبُّهُمْ وَيُحِبُّونَهُ أَذِلَّةٍ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَعِزَّةٍ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. Remember what Saad is saying. لَقَدْ آنَ لِسَعْدٍ أَنْ لَا تَأْخُذَهُ فِي اللَّهِ لَوْمَةَ لَائِمٍ. And Allah is saying, يُجَاهِدُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلَا يَخَافُونَ لَوْمَةَ لَائِمٍ. Make sure you understand how to look at this word deen. And this is the game they played with me. All of this, whole gas release, why? All you have to do is just change this word only. You think this was about faith? They broke the law. They were people of faith. Those Jews were people of faith. They broke the simple law. مَنْ يَرْتَدَّ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ فَسَوْفَ يَأْتِي اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ. And Saad bin Maaz saying, you break your law, I'm going to punish you from your own law. And here, I don't see the word law, I see the word faith. And now all Pakistani Indians know this word. Deen pe aa jao, faith pe aa jao. Faith is another word for it. It's called iman. That's faith. Deen is a system. Deen is the law, the legislation. So Islam becomes deen and the anti-deen becomes taghut. That's why taghut is a law. Deen is the law. Taghut is also a law. Deen is the law made by Allah. Taghut is the law made by me or whoever. A policy. This is why this becomes the pivotal ayah. Now you understand why this ayah becomes so important. Because if it was faith, ये बादशाह के ईमान के खिलाफ था कि यूसुफ अलैहिस्सलाम का भाई या उस तरह के बंदे मिस्र में एंटर नहीं हो सकते. Does that make sense to you? या किंग चार्ल्स का ईमान है कि साहिल अदीम इंग्लैंड एंटर हो. किंग चार्ल्स का सिस्टम है कि certain kind of people cannot enter. It's that simple. It's a legal thing. It's a very, very legal thing. So that's the problem. And you better start solving that problem right now. This is why the current definition, values, awesome, behaviors, awesome, by the way. Okay, credit where credit is due, awesome. Rituals, awesome. Otherwise, ये ना होते तो ये भी जाता हमारा. बिल्कुल ठीक कहते हैं वो कि ये भी ना बताएं तो ये भी नहीं करेंगे जो कर रहे हैं. हाँ, सही कहते हैं वो. I'm not trying to tell you to take them out of the equation. What I'm saying is there's a lot more to the equation than this. Use them for wherever the compartment they're doing. But you gotta raise the kids' IQ and acumen through your own, aperture. कि भैया बात सुनो, कंट्रोल अपने हाथ में जरूरी है. वरना अगली नस्ल तो ये जो नमाजें और मस्जिदें बना रही है, यहाँ पे भी कुछ और चल रहा होगा. भैया, क्योंकि सिस्टम आपके पास नहीं है. और छोड़े इंग्लैंड को. Wherever you want to use your influence of politics, money, and resource, and most of all, your knowledge, वहाँ पे आपकी नहीं कोई सुनेगा अगर आप यहाँ पे perform नहीं करें. You better gain power in here to exert it wherever you want to. Okay? So, this is where the ideal understanding should be. First and foremost, get the purpose clear. What is the purpose? Identity of Muslim is very clear. The identity of Muslim is لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. What is this ayah? Can anyone recite me this ayah? هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. What does this mean? على الدين ليظهره على الدين كل means you will see. ليظهره means izhar. You'll see the dominance على الدين كل over all the systems. And you know how I get this translation in Pakistan? Oh, तमाम मजहबों के ऊपर इस्लाम का मजहब गालिब आ जाएगा. No, let's not pick him. How can दुनिया के किसी मजहब पे तो दूसरा मजहब गालिब आ ही नहीं सकता इस्लाम का, क्योंकि इस्लाम में ला इकराह फी दीन है. यहां पे दीन का मतलब हमें पता है क्या है. इस्लाम किसी भी और मजहब पे गालिब नहीं आ सकते, क्योंकि अल्लाह ने कहा उसका मजहब नहीं छेड़ना आपने. सिर्फ इस्लाम एज अ सिस्टम गालिब आ सकता, जैसे विक्टोरियन सिस्टम हमारे ऊपर गालिब है, पाकिस्तान में भी, इंडिया में भी. लियुज़हिरहु अला दीन कुल्ली means all the systems better be overtaken by your system, by the system of Islam. How? Come into politics, man. Come into the power. Be credible. Be eloquent. Be attractive. Be sensible. When you talk, people should listen how sensible this person is. When you implement a law, people would know, it would make rational sense to have that law. This is how Islam was done by the Prophet. People got so attracted that movements had started in Russia, Persia, and Rome. Armies didn't fight for systems. Armies fought as a reaction. That's how Islam was done. That's how any system is done. Yeah, World War करा लें, और ज़बरदस्ती इम्पोज करा, या फिर इन्फ्लुएंस एंड people of influence, people of knowledge and people of power को इकट्ठा कर दें. That's this boy sitting there, that's this girl sitting there. और इसको तैयार करना पड़ेगा. I swear to God तैयार करना पड़ेगा. नहीं तो तैयार तो फिर भी आपको करना पड़ेगा, वो बगैर किसी इस्लामी पर्पज से करना पड़ेगा. बगैर तैयार के तो आप छोड़ भी नहीं रहे उसको भी. अभी भी उसको करियर दे रहे हैं आप, अभी भी उसको रिसोर्सेज दे रहे हैं, अभी भी उसको हर किस्म की कॉम्पिटेंस की तलकीन कर रहे हैं, बट विद नो पर्पस. एंड अनलेस यू हैव अ पर्पस, she is not going to be able to maintain that trajectory, and she's going to give up with the first marriage or the first child, or he's going to come up with a new excuse of getting this job or that termination from that job, and he's going to lose it because attributes without a purpose have a half-life. Skills without a purpose have a half-life. Behavior without a purpose doesn't even exist. ये बहुत इतनी बेसिक सी बात है, हर दुनिया के साइकोलॉजिस्ट को पता है. मुसलमानों को इतनी बड़ी किताबों के बाद नहीं समझ आ रही कि पहले कहीं पे पिन डाउन करो. अगर पिन डाउन नहीं कर रहे हो मुसलमानों को कि इस्लाम इज नॉट अ स्केलर. यू नो व्हाट अ स्केलर इज, राइट? यू नो वेक्टर्स एंड स्केलर्स. Islam was never a scalar. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam put Islam in a direction. It's a vector. We have to have a timeline and an objective कि भाई ये चीजें अचीव करनी है. That's where you need to understand. This is why I'm going to end this whole Sira lesson with a simple hierarchy. कभी भी कोई आपसे आर्ग्यू करे उसे सिंपल से पूछ लेना, टॉप ऑफ द टॉप सहाबास कौन थे और क्यों थे? क्या जवाब आएगा? Who are the highest the companions by rank of whatever their achievements are, okay? Whatever their achievements are, what did they do जिसकी बेस के ऊपर रैंकिंग मिली है सहाबा को? Ashram Mubashshara is an individual title. I'm talking about as a group. Badri. Badri is as close to you can get. Badri is not the number one. Badri Sahabi ka rank is as good as it gets, but it is still not even close to Uqbi Sahaba. Uqbi Sahabas were renowned, reckoned as कि भाई इस लेवल, ये तो अल्लाह ने कोई खास ही किस्मत लिख दी थी इनकी जो ये काम हो गया. What was Uqba? What happened in Uqba? Yeah, what happened in the Bayt Uqba? How did it happen? सिंपल सा मॉडल बता रहा हूं आपको, अभी आपने भी करवानी है बैत उक़बा, मैं बता दूं आपको. सीधा रिवाइव नहीं करेंगे, इस्लाम वापस नहीं आएगा. किसी गोरे की टेक्निक से इस्लाम नहीं आना. इस्लाम सिर्फ नबी इस्लाम की टेक्निक से आना है. यस, या, व्हाट वाज इट? हु इज द मैन ऑफ उक़बा? हाउ मेनी? व्हाई? थिंक अबाउट इट. बाय द वे, आई केम हियर थिंकिंग दैट यू आर उक़बा फॉर मी. Now you understand. मैं आपके पास इसलिए आया हूं कि आप उक़बी साहबी हैं हमारे. Who is the man? Who are the people of Uqba? अंसारी थे. अच्छा, कौन थे वो? क्या करने आए थे? बदर से भी ऊपर, ग़ज़वा बदर के सहाबा से भी ऊपर कर रहे हैं. किस बात पे मिल गया? Yes. Yeah, but who are these people? Yeah, Ansari of some, all of the Medina were Ansari who helped the Prophet. Yes, people of power. Those were the people of power of Medina. जब Prophet ﷺ मदीना में एंटर हुए तो मदीने में इस्तकबाल हो रहा था. Remember? तला अल बद्रु अलैना. How did they become Muslim? आप कैसे बोले? तबलीगी जमात गई थी मिशन करने? No, गई थी. मुस्तफ़ बिन उमैर के थ्रू तबलीगी जमात भी गई थी. Don't worry. But this is not Bayt Uqba. Bayt Uqba is the most powerful decision of the Meccan period. Those 11 people came in and they pledged allegiance कि हम मदीना आपको दे देते हैं. हम मदीना आपको दे दिया. Literally, that's the word. Hamza radiallahu anhu says, are you going to protect this man like you protect your own women? They're like, yes, we do. We will. मदीना इज योर्स नाउ. आप समझ रहे हैं? ऐसे ही जाके मिसाक मदीना पे साइन हो रहे हैं. द सिग्नेटरीज मोहम्मद बिन अब्दुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, पीपल ऑफ पावर विद हिम. दैट्स व्हाई दे आर सो सुपीरियरली रैंक्ड. दोज आर द पीपल हु हैव द पॉलिटिकल होल्ड. दैट्स वेयर साद बिन माज comes into the limelight of Islam. The biggest hero of Islam walks in as Bayt Uqba, the guy who runs Islam in Medina. And as soon as Prophet ﷺ comes in, he says, here you go, my Lord, mere Aqa, ye Medina वापस आपका हुआ. He's 31 at that time. Okay? Actually, he's 29 at that time. 29-year-old man gave Medina to our Prophet Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and now we know we're all Muslims because of this. That's how systems are done. I need you to become those Ukhwis. Your kids are, agar aapne prepare kar diye to, you need to know how I look at you guys. This is how I look at you guys. This is a real case study. I'm here to praise the Jews in front of you. I'm the one Muslim who'll be like, fraud karna band karo aapas mein. Accept the truth. This is a real number, real case study. This is as far as October ka data hai, October last year ka. This is England. This is America. This is the number in Israel. This is the situation right now. I know, I'm sorry. Yeah. Give me a timeline. Time? No? Okay, we'll open this case study after you come, because we have to pray Asr. Okay? Keep looking at these slides. I'm going to keep narrating the backdrop as to why you need to see this. Okay? Come on. Okay, this is the situation right now, but they made a decision. They're working on it. They're doing really good, but not as good as I would think they would or they should. Har jagah pe अच्छे बुरे अंडे होते हैं, you know. So that's why you see the resistance. And you need to know how are they reacting to whatever's going on in Israel right now. Because that's their job. And I've been around places, I've been with people, literally with people, who know what the job is and they're doing it, regardless of who's working or not working for them. Okay. So I do not know the English landscape of as to how and what's going on in your realms of interface. But that's how the job is done. That's literally how the job is done. And it can be done better. And I'm not going to put ideas in their heads as to how, where they're going to improve. They know what they're doing. They don't need my advice. But this is what's going on. This is the landscape. Pick a country and you'll find out what was the sentiment analysis as to how many people are against their purpose. Now I know if you use the word purpose, by the way, this is pretty much my analysis in Pakistan. Like literally. Think of it as my analysis with Pakistan. That's the problem. We need to solve this problem. Do you get the slide though? Pro and against. Everybody can read this slide. When you have this landscape, what do? I'll tell you what you do. This is what you do. This is what you do. What is this? This is 329 pages, 329 pages. I have just one of them pages. What is it? These are little clusters at the right places. Started from tens of thousands of clusters out of what? A 5 million people population. Tens of thousands of little clusters, people coming together. Took what? How many years? Less than 100 years. Those clusters became condensed. Some didn't perform, some were performing really well. Everybody got under the well-performing clusters. What were they trying to do? No, we know what they were trying to do. They were trying to do three things: intellectual uplift, resource uplift, political uplift. That's it. 3 things. They did it really well. Why? Because all of them were in this together. Not literally all, but whoever were coming together were in this together. This is like some of them. And, well, okay, a lot of them are in England, right here. 100 years ago. Started a little more, but okay, 100 years ago. Because of this. Why? Single purpose. 100-year plan. Global, nothing less. Every country, every cluster counts. What is it that's going to go wrong? And if it does, what to do? If it goes wrong, something goes wrong, everything goes, what to do? This is it. It's not rocket science. You open a company right now here in this very street, you're going to need all of this. You're going to launch a sock company, a shoe company, you need all of this in this very order. It's not rocket science. This is how it is. But what you need when you come up with the bigger game plan is you need something else. You need this. You really need this. Probably the smallest country by area in the world. Well, not literally, but as close to, very close to the smallest by population as well. And this is what you got to show for it. Well, yeah. How? You think this is coming from Israel? No, it's not. It is not. Actually, less than 12% of this is coming from. This is where the bigger game is played. 50 lakh, 5 crore, 2 arab, we're 2 billion? Yeah, we're 2 billion. By the way, all Desi Muslims, 1 billion. We are 1 billion Desis in the world. Muslims. Yeah, there. Sorry. Then what happened? This is how they made it turn around. This is why I said, Uqba mein aap log hain. Your daughter and your son. I need this. Starting with this. You're not even aiming for this. How are you going to start with this or finish with this? You're not even aiming for this. 22% of all Nobel Prize went to one family. 22% of all physics, all biology, all chemistry, all of sciences, yeah. All of progress, yes. Ek khandan, yes. हमारे कितने 2 बिलियन पीपल कितनों को मिला है क्यों मिला है क्योंकि उनको किसने गोली मार दी This is it. You want a Nobel Prize? Come here, let me shoot you. That's how we perform. Somebody performs on us, malfires, and we get a Nobel Prize. This is how they perform. This is how we perform. Again, them, us. Them, us. Because they were thinking of the globe, yes. We were thinking of killing each other, yes. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the mental capital, IQ. You know what a Fields Medal is? किसको पता है Fields Medal क्या होता है? Girls? Come on, don't look at her. You're also a human being. You do not know what a Fields Medal is. The medals you get working in a particular field. Of mathematics. Okay, alone. So the Nobel Prize of mathematics is the Fields Medal. There is no Nobel Prize of mathematics. It's called the Fields Medal. It's a totally different body that gives the Fields Medal. You know, when you take a Fields Medal, किसके सामने खड़े होकर तस्वीर खिंचानी पड़ती है? एक मुसलमान के सामने. See the irony now? दीन का मतलब बदलते हैं ना तो ये नुकसान होते हैं। उस वक्त दीन का मतलब ठीक था, अब दीन का मतलब ये है। Everyone who wins the Fields Medal stand in front of Al-Khwarizmi's picture and then goes home. Otherwise, it's not legit. No one's going to believe you that you got a Fields Medal. That's why I came here. पाकिस्तान से नहीं मिलने वाला, मगर पाकिस्तानी को मिल सकता है। इंडिया से नहीं मिलने वाला, राजेश्वरी इंडियन को मिल सकता है। इधर if you prepare, they're giving you the option, but we're not gonna, because हमें मैथ्स आती है। क्या वाला डॉलर कितने का है, ये मैथ्स आती है हमें। मुझे पाकिस्तान से कॉल अभी भी आ रही है। इट्स लाइक व्हाट द थर्ड वीक गोइंग ऑन। ऊबर करा ले, 22,000 रुपये में पहुंच जाएगा। लाइक हाउ डू यू नो कि कितने हजार रुपए की कैब की राइड है, कहां से कहां तक की। रिमेंबर द फर्स्ट फ्यू मंथ्स इन इंग्लैंड, जब आप साबुन खरीदने जाते थे तो देखते थे 12,000 रुपये का अंडा। रिमेंबर, वी आर स्टिल डूइंग दैट। हम अभी तक उस कॉम्प्लेक्स से बाहर नहीं आ रहे। फील्ड्स मेडल बहुत हाई कॉन्फिडेंस जोन की बात है। You know how I know? I work with a guy who actually, is probably the foremost contender of a Fields Medal. He's developing the curriculum for mathematics for my school, source code. And the best part about understanding what Fields Medal winners feel like, let me tell you a little secret. ज़्यादातर Fields Medal जीतने वाले लोग एक दूसरे को पर्सनली जानते थे पहले से। If they were alive, they would know each other. मैं जुमला दोबारा बोलता हूं, जान की उर्दू में बता रहा हूं। ज्यादातर दोस्तों को मिलता है Fields Medal. Do you know what that means? That if you're in a smart company, they're gonna raise your IQ. Imagine that, दुनिया का सबसे टॉप IQ का प्राइस आपस में कुछ दोस्तों को मिल रहा है। नया भी मिलता है तो उन्हीं के दोस्तों में से कोई दोस्त होता है आगे से। You hang out with them long enough, you're gonna. That's the rule, by the way. That's what they say. If you hang out with a guy who's won a Fields Medal long enough, you're gonna win one. We are just not working together. This is just one family. So, understand the problem. When people come together, this is what happens. What is this? This is the financial capital? No. This is the political capital. This is the political capital. This comes from outside the country. Every year. When the purpose is clear, सब इकट्ठे होते हैं पूरी दुनिया के। और ये तो बाय द वे, ये तो एक सिंगल नोट बताइए मैंने आपको। आफ्टर द 7th October अटैक, 9 अक्टूबर से लेके 13 अक्टूबर के बीच में 4 ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, 4, एक फ्रांस का है, एक इंग्लैंड का है, 2 अमेरिका के हैं। 4 ह्यूमन बीइंग्स केम टुगेदर एंड अमेरिका ने $100 बिलियन इसराइल को दे दिया। It took 4 people only. You know what $100 billion feels like for a country? Right people at the right place. Develop करने में टाइम लगता है बस। किस चीज की? Competence develop करने में, credibility develop करने में। तुक्के नहीं लग रहे। You and I both know their products are better performing. कोई nepotism नहीं चल रहा इधर। मुसलमान जब कोई प्रोडक्ट बनाता है, हम खुद भी नहीं खरीदते, हमें पता होता है कि 2 नंबर ही कर गया है। परफॉर्मेंस ही कम होती है उसकी, नीयत भी ठीक हो तब भी परफॉर्मेंस कम होती। सो ऐसे नहीं काम होने वाला। मैं फिर बता दूं, इंडिया पाकिस्तान से नहीं काम होने वाला। काम उकबा के साहबी ने जो कर देना है, मैं आपको बता दूं, दैट्स वो खुशबू आ रही है ओवरसीज से। व्हाई? प्लेटफॉर्म। अल्लाह के यहाँ तुक्के नहीं है, ऐसे नहीं आप यहाँ पे पाए गए और ऐसे नहीं आपके बच्चे यहाँ पे पैदा हुए। बड़ा काम तो करना पड़ेगा, वरना वो सही कह रही थी आप, माँ दीनू का जवाब क्या देंगे? क्या सोचा हुआ था कब्र में, क्या जवाब देंगे इसका? किस सिस्टम के एनफोर्सर रहे हैं आप, किस दीवार की ईंट रहे हैं आप? ये है माँ दीनू का मतलब, किस दीवार की ईंट थे आप? What were you trying to achieve? That's very simple. और जिस बात का मतलब माँ दीनू का हमने लिया हुआ है, वो तो पहले सवाल में जवाब तुरंत है। मन रब्बू का मतलब वो वाला इस्लाम, तो वो वाला दीन तो समझ आ रहा था, मन रब्बू का के आंसर में जो हमें बताया गया है। जान के रिडंडेंट सवाल क्यों डाला गया है कि मेरा रब तो अल्लाह ही है, मगर मेरा दीन कुछ और हो सकता है? हाँ नहीं, वो इस्लाम ही होगा। जी है, this is what the question means, like literally. What was your life all about? और आखिरत का पहला सवाल क्या है? पावर की जब एज थी तुम्हारी जवानी की, किधर गुजार रहे थे? What were you trying to achieve? So this is a Canadian sitting for the right purpose. This is an American or an English or even Indonesian, बड़े तादाद है उधर भी इनकी, sitting with the right purpose. Indonesia तो मुस्लिम मुल्क है, but they're doing whatever they're supposed to do, doing it for the right reason. That's where you come in. It's not the fact कि पाउंड बड़ा महंगा है, no no no. It's about आप के बच्चों का IQ 20-22 पॉइंट ज्यादा है पाकिस्तान के बच्चों से। वहां पे महंगे हो जाते हैं आपके बच्चे, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, काम पे लाना है वो। I need that IQ. This is, now you'll understand the meaning of this slide. This is why I came here. This कि ये इंग्लैंड की हेल्प ले इधर से, ये इंग्लैंड की हेल्प के बगैर नहीं हो सकता। लोकल तो कुछ चक्कर ही नहीं, कैसे हो सका? वो पहले ही आपके बच्चों को देख रहे हैं, आप नहीं उधर देख सकते। That's why we're doing whatever we're doing, going all the way, all the place, literally हर बड़े शहर में जा रहा हूं मैं, मुल्क दुनिया के, literally हर बड़े शहर में एक एक खित्ता चुन चुन के, कि इधर से भी इकट्ठे करो, इधर से भी इकट्ठे करो, कहीं पर्पस से, एक पर्पस पे लाइन होकर डेवलप करो एक दूसरे को। 3 प्रोग्राम लॉन्च, IMS इज इस्लामिक मैसेजिंग सिस्टम, कि IQ बढ़ाओ मुसलमानों का। और कहां से बढ़ेगा आपको मैं कैसे बताऊं? लोकल पाकिस्तानी इवेंटर होते हैं ना IMS में, ज्यादातर लड़के ज्यादातर लड़कियों के लिए आते हैं। लिटरली शादी.com खुल गया था, और मैंने पीछे दिन शुरू कर दी कि तुमने शादियां ही करनी थी तो IMS में किस लिए आए थे? मतलब दिस इज नॉट रेडी फॉर इट। शादियां करना हलाल काम है, मगर यहां पे लड़कियां ढूंढने मत आओ, क्योंकि इस वक्त इंटेलेक्चुअली डेवलप नहीं हुए, वो भी नहीं हुई भी, तो 2 डम बंदे शादी करके एक और डम मुसलमान पैदा कर देंगे। गलत टाइम है शादी करने का, पहले एक दूसरे को डेवलप तो करने दो। पर्दा पूरी तरह मेंटेन होता है, क्योंकि हम कोई वीडियो पे तो होते नहीं IMS में ना, प्रेजेंटेशंस बन रही होती हैं, डेटा कलेक्शन, रिसर्च चल रही होती है। लिटरली एक दूसरे को बुचर किया जा रहा होता है कि भाई इसका बेस वर्क क्या है, होमवर्क क्या, कहां से इतने बड़े क्लेम करके लेके आ गए। दिस इज द इंटेलेक्चुअल फ्लरी। फिर you are only on, I need your kids to come in and say कि भाई ऐसे नहीं बचगाना किस्म के आर्ग्यूमेंट्स और कॉपी पेस्ट हुए हुए all of those thought structures लेके आई जा रहे हो मुसलमानों। come up with something which is going to surface of the bigger problems. political solution क्या है पाकिस्तानी नहीं बताएगा। अभी तक वो लड़े कि साहिल मियां तुम डेमोक्रेसी के खिलाफ हो, तो कोई और सोल्यूशन भी तो होना चाहिए ना, जैसे कि डेमोक्रेसी हजरत आदम लेके आए थे। सोचे जरा, हजरत आदम से लेके फ्रांस तक मुसलमानों ने डेमोक्रेसी कभी नहीं इस्तेमाल की, और फ्रांस के बाद भी की हमने, मगर नहीं, हमें चूंकि इंग्लैंड ने बता दी, इसके अलावा तो बस कुछ दुनिया में हम सोच नहीं सकते। और पॉलिटिक्स का मतलब भी डेमोक्रेसी लेते हैं, दैट्स इट। पूरी दुनिया में सारे के सारे, ये वो केस स्टडी बताई है, ये सारे वोट डालने जाते हैं टेल अवीव। You think all the Jews go to Tel Aviv to vote and then come back? No, you know what they do? I'll tell you what they do. This is what they do. This is how politics is done. This is how politics is done. मसला है ये तुक्के पे नहीं होता काम, ये काम बाय डिजाइन करना पड़ता है। ये है प्रैक्टिकल सोल्यूशन जो मांग रहा है, ये है, करके दिखा दिया उन्होंने। उनके 4 कान, 3 आंखें, 2 नाक, ऐसा कोई बच्चा पैदा होता है उनका? स्टैंडर्ड बच्चे पैदा होते हैं स्टैंडर्ड तरीके से। प्रॉपर एक पर्पस नहीं होगा तब तक आपका आप वही ना स्केलर लाइफ नहीं गुजार। वेक्टर बनाए इस्लाम को। यू नीड टू क्रिएट अ वेक्टर। हैट्स ऑफ टू दीज पीपल। सलूट करने का दिल चाहता है। परफॉर्म कर गया बंदा अपने अपने दीन पे, पक्का परफॉर्मर। हाँ पे यहाँ पे ट्रेनिंग हो रही है कि बस ये तो बस जहां पे नजर आए बस मार दो। ये इससे क्या करूंगा मैं? इससे बढ़ जाएंगे वो, या उनसे कोई फायदा हो जाएगा हमारा? हमारी नाअहली उनकी अहलियत की बिना पे नहीं है, हमारी नाअहली हमारी सोच की बिना पे है। हमने सोच इतनी छोटी रखी हुई है। वो अपने दीन के ऊपर है, अल्लाह की कसम वो अपने दीन के ऊपर है। वो वाकई कुरान वाले हैं, कुरान वाले यहूदी, हम कुरान वाले मुसलमान ही नहीं। वो मोहम्मद बिन अब्दुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के सामने आए थे तो नबी सल्लल्लाहु ने कहा जाओ तो अपने दीन पे मोड़ देता हूं तुम्हें, जाओ तुम्हें तुरात मिली है उसी को फॉलो कर लो, इतना ही तुम्हें शौक है। We are not doing it. They are doing it. And they're doing a good job. Not the best of jobs, but good job. Wherever they are. And none of them comes in and votes. इसलिए पॉलिटिक्स को डेमोक्रेसी मत समझें। ये हैं वो वोटर्स, वोट तो ये डाल रहे हैं खाली। That's all. बाकी तो कोई वोट नहीं डाल रहा, और ये भी उधर तो नहीं वोट डाल रहे जाके। सो रियल पॉलिटिक्स को सीखें। आपके इशारों पे होनी चाहिए, बाकी की चीजों की भाग दौड़, जहां पे असल में डिसीजन लेने हैं। खाली नवाज शरीफ को गालियां देने से नहीं कोई काम ठीक हो जाना। यू वांट टू सेव इमरान खान आउट ऑफ द जेल, रेज द राइट किड्स। कल को एक और इमरान खान, बल्कि उस तरह के कोई खातून को पकड़ा होगा उन्होंने, जबा कर रहे होंगे। कब क्या करेंगे आप लोग? खाली बैठ के तमाशाई स्पेक्टेटर मोड में सारे मुसलमान बैठे हुए हैं, यू नो, oh PTI, nothing. PTI is suffering from Pakistani, mindset. वरना बड़ी कौमों का लीडर जब जेल में जाता है ना, तो कौमों की तकदीरें बदल जाती हैं। हमें तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं, बल्कि वो भी यही सोच रहा होगा कोई आई नहीं भाई। उसका जलसा आपको पता है ऑनलाइन भी बैन कर दिया, आपको पता है इस बात का? इससे बुरा कोई वाकया हो सकता है? What's the time right now? 4:24. Okay, well, that's why I needed a smaller break. ये break नहीं होनी चाहिए थी ना बीच की। Questions please right now, till now, इससे पहले कि मैं कुछ जी quick questions please, quick fire questions पूछिएगा मेरे से। जिसने नहीं पूछे पहले मैं उनसे पास बात हूँ। जी question.
We have a lot of kids in England. They are performing very well.
School?
When they go to universities, over there it's like considered taboo to mix with the mainstream kids. And
mainstream means?
Yeah, like all the different nationalities. So often they end up in an Islamic group, which is a smaller group in the university, and that influences, I think, their progression, their growth. The same thing applies if they go into banking. They don't socialize with the other people. They're against interest. They don't. They say other people are drinking alcohol, and we are not supposed to go there. And all the networking that takes place in those areas, they miss out on these things because of restriction.
Yeah, that's a good question. Listen, there are so many kids in America. I'll give you the names as well. और इतनी तादाद में in Canada, and now I know in Melbourne, which your kids will require to progress. Not just that next white kid or Spanish kid or whatever, but Muslim kid in global presence. Even those white kids would benefit from those Australian Muslim kids. or those Canadian American. आप लोग रियलाइज नहीं कर रहे हैं अपने नंबर्स के पोटेंशियल को, इसलिए नेटवर्क में आ नहीं रहे हैं अभी तक. ओके, एक लड़कियों को देखने के लिए उसने फेसबुक बनाई थी मार्क जकरबर्ग ने, लड़कियां देखने के लिए, लड़कियों की रेटिंग की प्रोग्राम था फेसबुक. कैंपस की लड़की में कौन कितनी खूबसूरत है उसको नंबर दो, ये फेसबुक था. एंड नाउ इज कॉलिंग द शॉट्स ऑन द इलेक्शंस इन अमेरिका एंड मेनी अदर इलेक्शंस बाय द वे. नेटवर्क का एक सिंपल सा केस स्टडी है. मैं आप लोगों से कह रहा हूं एक ब्लॉकचेन बनाएं अपने बच्चों की और अपनी कम्युनिटी की, और ग्लोबल मैं कर दूंगा उसको, मैं हर जगह से कनेक्ट कर दूंगा. मैं पैसे थोड़ी ले रहा हूं चीज के. इट्स नॉट अ बिजनेस, इट्स माय रिलीजन. ब्लॉकचेन क्या होती है? इट्स नॉट मनी, इट्स अ नेटवर्क ऑफ पीपल वेयर यू आर गोइंग टू नो ईच अदर एंड गेट ईच अदर्स नेक्स्ट जनरेशन डेवलपमेंटल प्लान. वो मैं बता दूंगा 3-4 स्टेप्स कैसे करने हैं. हमने तो 30 साल के अंदर खड़ा कर सकते हैं, इनको तो 100 साल लगे थे. क्यों? तादाद कम थी इनकी. मुझे 10 लाख पाकिस्तानी मिल गए ना पूरी ग्लोबल, मिल जाएंगे इंशाल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. थोक से आ रहे हैं, शौक से भी आ रहे हैं और थोक से भी आ रहे हैं. People are sincere, and I'm not talking about money here. I'm talking about people connecting together. That's it. उसके बाद देखिएगा आपको मैं अगर 3-4 लाख आप लड़कियों को बता रहा हूं, इनमें से एक बंदे को भी मैं भी बोलूं ना, एक को भी 20-year-old boy को भी कि मैं 2 लाख बंदे दे रहा हूं ग्लोबली, he'll be like, sir, I'm a millionaire. Because they know how it works. आपको तो पता भी नहीं है कि how did he do the math on millionaire, literally millionaire in pounds. तो 2 लाख बंदे हर वक्त अटैच रहेंगे, जो ये कहेगा वो मानेंगे. He is not just a millionaire, he is multi-millionaire. They know the power of network. I'm presenting this to you, but you guys are not realizing. इसलिए मुझे लग रहा है मैं और आप ज़बान ही नहीं एक बोल रहे. अभी मेलबर्न और सिडनी कैसे कनेक्ट हो गए हैं, इस्लामाबाद से कैसे, पीपल नो कि इसके फायदे क्या हैं. ओके, लास्ट क्वेश्चन गाइस. मेक श्योर इफ यू गाइस आर सीरियस. ऑफ कोर्स आई कुडंट फिनिश दिस बिकॉज ऑफ दिस होल बीच में टेम्पो का. मतलब ये है कि आप लोगों को अच्छा ही हो गया अल्लाह की तरफ से, आप लोगों को कनेक्ट होने का रीजन मिल गया. ओके, if you guys, do you even know you have that numbers?
QR codes are on the door, so they can scan and then they will be in the WhatsApp group.
Oh, they will be, okay. So I'll be in that group. Well, let's bout it out there, okay? You know, bout it out there. No, Papa, no, Birmingham, yeah. Gee, quickly.
So, I'm 13 years old. What should I do? Right.
What are you doing right now?
Yeah.
You going to school?
Huh?
You going to school?
Yeah.
What are you studying?
Maths.
Are you good at it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
You say so or somebody else? I need somebody to say so. And not just the fact that you're good, but you're the best in Birmingham. Yeah, no. You in mathematics, right? Then, you gotta understand how to measure how good you are, because this is mathematics. That's the easiest subject to measure your performance on. Okay? You understand me? Yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.